You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo.
Live, teasing. Yeah.
Yo, somebody said we live, but I don't see us. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm on Urban Atlanta. Just in case anybody out there can hear me, yo, what's happening, man? It's that was Sugar Sean running across the camera.
It's on Urban Atlanta.
Oh, okay. All right. That's not showing on mine. All right, cool. Yeah. Hey, what's happening, y'all?
Cool. We'll put you in a group text with me and Cool Kennedy.
9:30ish. And it's time for Classic Conversations.
Yeah, technical difference. This will be a short show.
Time for Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo.
And ask a cop.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I appreciate everybody, that is tuned in. Appreciate your patience. We had some technical difficulties with Facebook tonight. There was an update that was done, and things just kind of got a little wonky in there. So we're gonna go off our original platform over here on urbanatlanta.com. Matter of fact, while you're on over here, make sure that you search through and find some other things that you like. Make sure you click on the things to help the
algorithm.
There it is. So make sure you do that. Please be a part of this conversation because we cannot really, we hadn't figured out how to see the comments from Urban Atlanta yet. So we're going to need you to give us a telephone call at 404-500-1605. Probably going to go live from a Facebook feed also. You just won't see my beautiful background there, but we're going to try and make it do what it do. 404-500-1605. So we're going to stay on our regular format. Angelo.
What up, bro?
How was your week, man?
Yes, everyone. It is internet issues. I'm getting all these messages. A lot of issues, man. But I had an okay week. No real complaints, man. Up outside of traveling all the way down to doggone Miami, Florida, to see my boys take a L. That put a damper on my weekend.
I know it did.
But the overall week was straight, man. We had a really good weekend at Uptown Comedy Corner, man, the home of Classic Konversations podcast and This Race podcast and ATL Flag Football podcast and the Den podcast. And what other podcast we got, man? We got like 5. Hey, we've been rolling here lately, man. We got several of them coming through. Oh, Damn Right podcast. Right. Yep. What else we got, Will? Got a couple more, don't we? Atlanta Flag Football, which is probably still, believe it or not, probably got the most watched podcast of them all. Yeah, I said that one. Yeah. So, but man, we had a good weekend, man. Had my boys, the whole crew was stupid, man. Big Jae and Barry Brewer and that crew, and Justin Whitehead came here. I didn't know who he was prior to Saturday, but he's my friend now because he sold this joker out. You sell out Uptown Comedy Corner, you are my friend. Period. You know what I mean? Make no bones about that one. You just become my new friend. So I've met a new friend this weekend, man. So, had some unfortunate news today. Had the death of a longtime friend, man. Probably a wonderful father figure, man. So found out he passed away. So that was, just found it out this evening, man. So I know, Mama, we got you. Love you. I know that hurt you. So anyway, man, other than that, man, I can't complain, man. Good to see everybody here, man. Got a nice cast. Sorry we're late. Wasn't nothing we could do about it, but we're going to make it do what it do with the time we have. We're not going to stay here till midnight tonight.
No.
So all the topics we may not get to, we're going to have fun.
Yeah. We'll see. We're going to work on it. We're going to work on it because I don't want to be here till midnight tonight either, but we're going to work on that. We're going to work on that. Ask a cop.
I had a real good week. I was planning on going to the DR. Didn't take that trip. Instead, it was opening day of gun season in Georgia. And I was in the woods trying to get Bam Bam.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody I got a bunch of tags to fill, a bunch of does passed. I'm looking for the right buck. I saw my trail cam. But if you want some deer meat, let me know. If you got a, can you do that to like a service organization if you feed the homeless and shit? Give deer meat to them.
I think so.
Yeah. So let me know if anybody got a request, and I'll gladly fill a tag.
Wait.
Y'all pay the process, and I'll damn sure
wait.
drop that ass.
You was gonna give a deer to it? That what you said?
No, you know, if you got a food kitchen, a soup kitchen or something, like a church, some shit, you know, a church or something.
Okay,
Shit,
and you're gonna give them.
But you know what I'm saying. I've been drinking before the podcast. I'm sorry.
Actually, he was drinking for the podcast, but it just ended up being before the podcast.
Yeah.
We had the technical difficulties.
How about that?
Right now you're seeing 45 minutes to an hour in Ask a Cop.
Oh yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. Terry, we not on IG live tonight, are we? No? Okay. So nothing live tonight, huh? Just Urban Atlanta?
Just Urban Atlanta, okay.
I'll just double checking.
Yep, let me get this feed going there.
I wasn't going to lie with my page, but my battery may not last long enough.
Damn, I ain't thinking about
I just
that.
looked at my battery. It was like, it got 1 dot left. It may not last until the time.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna mess with that one.
We're gonna go left or right first.
Go right first.
All right, man. So to my right, man, got longtime friend, frat brother, my man Vay, man. He's doing big things in the community, and I'm really proud of his brother, man, to see everything he's come through and been through, and standing strong, looking good, man. I'm proud of you, brother. So introduce yourself, man. Introduce your business to the people, man.
All right, let's go. Change is gonna come.
Ooh wee.
I like that anger management. Yeah.
Ask a cop, do you ever go to anger management in your time?
I'm about to get on this podcast. I'm on the radio.
Dude, now you wrong with that one.
I'm on Kennedy.
Yeah, they used to have the bad boys.
You opened it up with your statement. I had to come in.
Yeah, you said I love that. I love
They used to
that.
they used to have the bad boy school, and I may have attended it.
Yeah, attended 1 or 2. Gotcha.
Where you going? That's what I do.
You said it.
Hey, you know what I mean? You open the door.
Well, I've been talking to him because we started on time for about 35 minutes, so I pretty much know what he's going to say. And I'm down with that. He has some very good points.
That's what's up, man. But Vay, I mean, you kind of, you highlight the business, but you also got a book coming too, man. I want you to get everything out.
Okay, yeah, man. So I have a book coming out. December, but maybe first of the year. The book is going to be just a little bit about not giving up, a little bit about my story, graduating high school with a 1.92 GPA, just a little bit of the story, graduating, eventually going to get an associate, bachelor's, master's, and an EDS. And then went back and got my leadership add-on.
Give me some on that, man.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
All right.
And just follow my dream. And I tell people all the time, I had heard it before, but my mom used to tell me that when you do something you love, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah,
and
amen.
so when I go to work, it's just fun. You know, I enjoy it. And it's not about the money, it just happens to be a plus because I'm actually being compensated for something that I would do for free. You know, so I really enjoy it. And then speaking on anger management, I'm a person that has severe anger issues. You know, and people laugh at me even to this day when they hear that I teach the class, but I'm like, man, I try to lead by example. And so I try to make sure I conduct myself a certain way to make sure that, you know, the product that you see, you don't mind following as long as you see something to follow. So I try to give people something to follow.
Okay. That's right.
So, yeah.
That's nice because I've worked every damn day of my life. I enjoyed none of it.
Too funny. Hey, Dwayne, mute Corleone's mic until he get out the phone too, man. So he'll.
We hear the people that's
he's
on
still
the
having,
phone.
He's still having conversation over there. Let's put him on mute for a minute.
So what's the focus of your anger management? So who do you target normally with that?
So it's court order, so it could be anyone, to be honest with you. But there have been times where I focus on children. I am a middle school counselor, where actually my title is a
Okay.
Adults and the children at the school. Well, my primary focus from my heart would be the children, middle school age all the way up to 21, as I was telling you earlier. And mainly because I want to be proactive opposed to being reactive. And so whenever they start having those issues, kind of like you said earlier, let's go ahead and teach them some type of skills. You know, so they know how to have conflict resolution.
There you go.
And all the different things. And social skills. Sometimes it's just how to greet people, salutations, and just other things, soft skills that they can benefit from that they don't. Well, I didn't say they don't. They may not get at home, or they may not be getting it in the correct way from home. So I'm trying to make a change, man, because you don't want to go outside and fear. And right now, man,
Hold on one second. Hey, Dwayne, check his mic. People can't really hear him that well.
You gotta talk closer to it. Yeah, you gotta talk closer to it.
Yeah, all right, yeah, because he's saying some good stuff, so I
And
want
we
to make sure folks
capture
hear.
all that.
Yeah.
so appreciate it. So those are the things that I'm trying to focus on to make sure that I capture them before the cops capture them, or life itself just don't do them any justice.
Man, I want to take the lead on this a little bit because what you were saying off camera before because we started late because of technical difficulties, it was so on point, as law enforcement and Lo can attest to, that a lot of times African American young males go to jail because they don't know how to control their temperament. There was absolutely, think about it, no reason to lock them up, but they mouth, like the old folks say, cash a check, their ass can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, so I mean conflict resolution on that level, like I told you, maybe do it. I'm not knocking Atlanta public schools, but there's some areas in Atlanta public schools where we get a lot of turnout as far as law enforcement having to deal with, from like, you know, I almost said school, but it's like I think that would help the conflict resolution because a lot of those guys, they don't know how to say yes, no, thank you, just simple things. So that helps, but the anger management, because so many times the guys have conflict to the point that it escalates to violence. And I think that would help a lot in the public school systems across the board.
And you know what else I was thinking about this morning? I was thinking about reform.
mic come to
I was thinking about reform. And a lot of people who go to jail, go to prison and stuff, they want to get it together, you know. And then a lot of times they do become very productive citizens. But I want to catch them in the beginning, you know, because like we were saying earlier, once you get that felony on your record, it eliminates you from a lot of different opportunities. Even if you have your CDLs, there are certain places you can't go if you have a felony, you know. So it's very...
Federal can't do no federal tolls from the docks. I know about that.
Exactly. So
It's one of my drivers, yeah.
See, so it's very important that we explain these things to these young men and women, and try to model certain behavior, as well as have different people come in that have experience of going to prison and jail, and explaining to them what it's really like, because they get these hot charges, and then once they get in, they realize that, you know, it's totally different than what the rappers are talking about. You know, it's totally different.
And that's something I think
That's real.
that's missing in the mentorship programs per se, whether it's at the beginning or even if it's in that middle age, the age that I feel that a lot of, they're already lost, that age between like 25 to 36. There was, we really missed being able to mentor those young men. And I think what's missing is that part of somebody that actually has done real time and is actually going to tell the truth about it, and tell it in a way to where somebody could actually benefit from it. In other words, not wanting to go there. You got so many of them now getting out of jail, and they want to glorify it.
Exactly.
You know, they want to wear it as a badge of honor.
Well,
And you got
buckle
too many
fire.
others that want to emulate that part of it. And there's not enough. I don't know if it's not enough that want to do it, or if it's just that because they've done it, nobody wants to ask them to come and speak to others, because they could probably give a positive spin from it. When I say a positive spin, in other words, a defensive mechanism to keep you from going, you know, telling you how it is, and it's not a badge of honor to wear. I think that part is kind of missing. So what they're doing is they're listening to the songs, they're looking at the movies, thinking that it's that, you know, that type of deal. So I think that's missing. We got a little deep, but I want to introduce my guy over here. my man, Mr. Vic over here. Good friend of mine, man. Met this cat, of course, smoking cigars. Actually, my wife met him first. Kind of dogged him out and almost punked him into being our friend.
Yeah, one of them days.
Go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Speaking to the mic, though. Come on.
How y'all doing? My name is Todd Vick. I'm a retired soldier. Served in the military for 22 years, 2 tours in Iraq, traveled around the world.
Thank you for your service.
I appreciate you. Thank you for your service too, sir. And I was listening to this brother about what he's doing. I too mentor. I am currently a part of All Pro Dads at Party School in Centerville, North Carolina. I said North Carolina. I moved to North Carolina, Georgia. I believe in we catch these kids early, and these are all from K through 5. The school I volunteer at, and the school that I volunteer at is ran by all women. I'm talking about from the principal all the way down to the janitor. There's no males in this school.
Wow.
Yes. So I'm a part of All Pro Dads. I don't have a child there, but I still volunteer there because a couple of my boys I smoke cigars with have children there. So I believe in we catch them early. We can try to redirect them. And I think that's part of the conversation we have tonight. A lot of homes doesn't have fathers in it.
Amen.
And the fact is that the school doesn't have men in it, but these women running this school like a machine. I appreciate that. But I also think that they appreciate the fact that we as fathers come and give them a little bit of male perspective in that school with kids. Just the presence makes a difference more than anything. Not even have to say one word, just your presence there means a lot to a lot of these kids and to a lot of these single mothers that don't have a man in the home. So I appreciate the fact that they even let me be a part of it. My children are in North Carolina. I have sons that's actually serving right now. I have one young son that's 15 years old that I'm not there with him every day because I live in Georgia. But I believe in paying it forward. Even if I don't have firsthand hands on my own, but I can still pay it forward to somebody else. So I believe that, again, we have to be present in these kids' lives. And if I can do it with service, because it's not necessarily voluntary, even though it's considered volunteer, but it's really serving our children, giving them that first look. That first look of what a man is. Because some of them, again, doesn't have male presence in their homes. So I love it. I appreciate it. I have male sons. I have all biological sons, so I feed into them as well. So I believe in giving them, or not making them the same mistakes that maybe our fathers did. So we learn from that.
Amen.
And
100%.
as long as you know you're doing the right thing, that's all that matters. That's it.
It's funny. Just on the topic of the women and having the male figure, and I was listening to, I said Daryl Dam had a podcast called Damn Right? And their first show, they had like 5, 6 young ladies in here, all college, all of them are going to college right now. Ages were like 18 to 20, 21, you know what I mean? And I was just in the room listening to them talk. And Daryl, y'all know how Daryl talk. Daryl said some raunchy
Raw.
things. Yeah, raw. And I was watching their responses and how they responded to him and some of the things he was saying. So I texted her. I said, man, ask them if all of them were raised in a 2-parent household. Every one of them. No. Because they was all some sharp young ladies. They didn't get pulled into the, they held their own. They said, how they felt about certain things. And I was just listening to them. And I was like, them young ladies got it going on. You know what I mean? And I hit them. I said, man, I know all 2-parent households. Every one of them. We're in 2-parent households. Father's an integral part of our life. You know what I mean? So and I told them before they left, I said, man, y'all represent it. It was just good to see. Because it just plays such a major role.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And we know you say it all the time.
All the time. all the
Between you and my
compliment.
uncle, boy, y'all.
I'm just,
y'all be
I'm just glad you came over here. Like, we didn't even talk hard. We talked, introduce ourselves, but man, and you, it's like, this is what I talk about on the show all the time. I'm very far right on a lot of things, and I think that's going to lead into our topic. Black men do a lot more than we're giving credit for, and I think if we talk about it, have positive brothers like you on here, more showing that it takes a man to raise a child, but it also takes a woman. It takes both.
Absolutely.
And when you exclude one, something's missing.
Yes.
And some people are strong enough to get it back and still be strong men. But the fact remains is we ain't talking about the good dudes, the ones that's that motherfucker. We talking about the ones that not. Because you're sum total of all your parts.
Absolutely.
And I know we want to get into the topic, but since we got going here, it's, there's so many, like you said, single parent households that's out there that we speak so much on. Even though you came from a single parent household, you still can be good. You still can do well.
Yeah.
That I think sometimes we miss saying that even though you still could do well, you still could do good, it's the percentages are a lot better for you if you're coming out of a two-parent household. I'm guilty of that because I came out of a single-parent household.
Me too.
So I like to, give my mother the props and make sure that other children that's in a single-parent household can understand that they can come out of this thing and still be good. They don't have to be of the percentage that's, if you're in a single-parent household, you're going to do bad and that type of thing. But I think sometimes we highlight that you actually can do well coming out of a single-parent household, that we forget to say that it doesn't mean that is the way to go.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean that you
Shouldn't be the
should.
norm.
Right, it shouldn't be the norm. You shouldn't champion for that.
Absolutely.
Just because he called you a bitch and now y'all breaking up. Because I don't need you. There's a lot of kids out there that come out of single parents household that do well. And
I'm one.
yeah. So you have to. I think we have to start doing I know I do. We have to start doing a better job of championing for it. At the same time, not championing, but also making sure that the children that are coming out of single parent households, making sure that they know that they still can do well.
Oh, absolutely.
But then also championing for two-parent households. So in other words, parents stand together. I think, sometimes some parents hear that and they, just feel, I don't need this. I can, let this go over the smallest little thing, so that type of thing. So listen, like I said, this both of you, I'm telling y'all something, man. It's called Classic Konversations because we will go everywhere.
It's all good.
We might start that the sky's blue and end up straight up talking about the devil in hell. How does those compare? They just end up there. So we was just doing an introduction and you see we already got onto a topic. So, but we're gonna get on to the first topic, man. The first topic.
We got Sugar Sean outside over there.
Me outside, but they got me in the corner. Like, nobody see me, no nothing's
So when you get
going
sent
on.
to the principal's office, they
hold
forget
up,
about you.
outside. What up, ATL? I'm in Brooklyn. What's good? Yo,
What up,
we
Sean?
chilling. How's everybody doing? We doing big things, man. We having a good time. Thank you for Lo and Jae Tea and Ask a Cop. That's my homeboy, my spiritual brother. Ask a Cop. We just say it in different ways, But yeah, we gotta raise these kids. We gotta bring them outside.
Exactly.
You gotta bring them outside. Yeah, you gotta bring them outside. And you can't raise other kids if you ain't raising your own. So you gotta raise your own. That's just how I see it. Like, no matter what the struggle is, what the fight is with the kid, the mother, whatever, you gotta raise your own and make sure they all right. And then you be able to, talk to the other ones. You know what I'm saying? But we outside. They about to put me back inside.
Glad that you joined us, man. I didn't know if you was doing a little business over there. Didn't want to interrupt your
I had a lot of
business.
stuff
call,
going
yeah.
on, but I can't say it on camera.
Yeah, we don't want you to go there because
we heard how you ran up out of here earlier.
Oh, I had to. 'Cause I don't know who in here.
Yeah, that's
I know
what.
Ask the Cop is my homie. He's
what he
probably
said.
gonna pull up with me, but I don't know what's going on. So
He's like-
I had to get outside.
He's like, yo, let me get out of here because I don't know who's in here.
I'm
So
gonna incriminate
I
myself.
had to get outside.
go ahead.
I don't wanna
Go ahead.
incriminate myself.
Yeah, go ahead and let him do that. So listen, man, we're gonna get into the topic of the first topic anyway. Basically, it's the topic that we wanted to talk about last week, didn't get a chance to get to it. And it's inspired from a play I went to called God's Guy, and basically what the play is about. An older gentleman at a church kind of adopted some men in the church, and he basically kept a relationship with them. And they used to have these like dinner Sundays where they would all go to his house and they would cook. And it ended up, one of the guys had a situation, so he started talking about it, and all of them actually started speaking. And the thing about the play was, black men, we are giving you the permission to feel and heal. But the thing is, we don't really have the arena to do that as much as we think. We think that, whoa, that rain came, didn't it?
Oh, that did?
Yeah, man.
Rain,
Yeah, it was 87% for tonight. It came. So, but yeah, it's basically, me and Vic was talking about it during our pre-show delay, basically talking about how, what does it look like? And it's something that we have to start creating for ourselves. It starts off with a commonality, whether it's cigars, whether it's having a drink, whether it's book reading, whether it's sports, whatever it is. It could be sneakers,
Being
it
a
could
veteran,
be T-shirts,
being a veteran.
being a vet, anything. And, people saying, what does it look like? Well, it starts off with two people. Two people being able to talk around each other and be comfortable enough to actually reveal something in them that they're going through, so that then once they have a conversation, one or each of them can go and tell somebody else that, hey, man, I was able to have this conversation with somebody, and I love being able to speak to somebody that looks like me, that may have gone through something that I went through, or knew somebody that went through something similar to what I went through. And I think that's something that we have to do more of, to where it's not for profit. A lot of these, I'm glad some of the centers and everything are there, some of the groups are there, but a lot of them are nonprofit organizations. No disrespect to them, but I think sometimes we have to start doing this within our own circles more, to just be able to, just release, what I'm saying, and get out. Me, you, and my boy Brian, we was at my house this weekend, and we didn't talk about nothing crazy. We was kicking it. We was having a good time. But even with that, something like that can actually lead to another conversation where one of us could feel comfortable enough to let something out.
Share, yeah.
That type of deal. So in regards to that, what do you guys think about that in regards to what that looks like? And
Well, I come from a joking family, and we laugh, kick, we have a really good time. And alcohol used to be involved with a really good time. You know what I'm saying? And at some point, years back, I realized that I had a little anxiety. And I also had a little depression, and I didn't know what was going on. I was feeling weird. And so I had to speak to my family about it. And they made it so comfortable for me. Nobody was laughing, nobody was joking. They're like, bro, what you gotta do to take care of you? I got you. And by them making that smooth and comfortable for me, it helps the process. And I started doing counseling, taking care of me. Just a couple days ago, shout out to my boy DK.
hold on one second. Give him your mic, because they said it's not even on. And I don't, because he has the cordless. I don't think it is on.
Okay, yeah, that's what it is. All right, shout out to my boy DK.
Thanks, man.
Just a couple of days ago, he asked the question. He said, I want to know how everybody doing mentally and emotionally and spiritually. He said, I know everybody doing good financially because we always support one another, but I want to know how you doing those other three areas. And so I was able to say, look, man, I'm going through something at work. I just lost a close friend and his wife in a car accident the other day, as well as I lost a childhood friend today. So man, that's a lot on a person mental. And actually, last Friday before last, the guy that I was waiting on him to come to a high school football game. He from a neighboring county, and en route to coming to the game, he and his wife both passed away. And I had to hear that news shortly before the game ended. So that was like terrible news. And you know, he was 34, she was 35, and it just makes you put things in perspective. You know, so it feels really good, man. We have people that you can talk to about stuff, man. You don't feel like there's a no judgment zone, and I think it's necessary because when we hold all these different things in, a lot of times that's when our anger come out and we're ready to get active, and then that stuff can be detrimental to your life. And as we were saying, being a father, I want to make sure that I'm around and I'm the best version of myself for my daughter, as well as my mom and my siblings and the rest of my family.
And you said a lot there, especially when you said, he asked, want to see how y'all are doing. You know that everybody's doing okay financially, and a lot of people will attribute that to being good, just because all the bills are paid, just because they drive a nice whip, they got a nice crib. You see him and his family out, they're always smiling. You automatically assume that everything is going okay, and that's the type of conversations that you have to have, But again, you guys have that arena to where you can actually ask those questions. You sound like you have a great family. All families ain't like that. There's some families that actually want to see you, failing or want to hear about you having issues. And because of that, that same question could be asked in certain families, and they won't answer it honestly because they don't want to deal with that whole now they can talk about me type deal. So, it's if you can find it within your family, great. But please understand, you can actually go out and probably find it someplace else also.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I have a great therapist. Yeah.
And therapy is always great. I'm not, I've been to therapy myself. I've actually done it a couple of times. Matter of fact, most people know that I did it once, but I've actually done it a couple of times. Ain't none of their business how many times I've done it. But it is great. I just think that once people start down this, people that don't think therapy is something they should do, if they start down this path, hopefully they can recognize that speaking to somebody is actually
Therapeutic.
Yeah, it's healthy.
Yes.
And then they will graduate to actually going to see a professional, because there's still a lot of people out there that won't actually speak to their friend, but hopefully once they find out they can speak to their friend, then they can actually graduate to that next level, of that. And I know you being a supervisor and doing all that stuff and kicking doors in and holding people around their neck and
I send people to anger management too. So, yeah.
So I mean, in that arena, being in the on the force and the police, how do you see it, that space there for, and I'm speaking of other than counseling, a space within, maybe with other police officers where they feel that they can be open enough, or without. Can you guys speak to somebody that's not on the force?
Well, I think it helps. I just think in general, everybody looks at the thin blue line as being a negative, but on the positive side of it is, in law enforcement, you always have somebody to talk to. Like, me and Lo got close. I know things about Lo that probably some of his friends, his frat brothers don't know. And I know how he'll react to things. I've seen Lo when he's scared. We both scared shitless, for our safety. And I also think that you open up when you have near-death experiences with people. You open up to them. And when you see somebody at their best and they truly got your back, not the hood rat, got your back, but actually has your back, I think that helps. I think therapy is changed in law enforcement. I think when I first came on, you were considered weak if you went to therapy. In fact, like I've said it on the show before, the first shooting I had, and they were patting me on the back. And, I had an episode months later, which is what I found out in a subsequent shooting. That's what's going to happen. They said it's going to hit you at some point. And I think that I'll take kudos to the officers that are out there now. I think because the world's changing, they request it. And when you send them to them, they're not kicking and screaming. Because I think people don't realize some of the things you see with officers. There's a fear of the black man does exist. And it's also fear of the public exists now because they want to be liked. Nobody wants to be hated. And I think a lot of officers, that's something that scars them because they're so scared about being hated by the public that they stop policing for the public.
Hey, real quick, MJ, we got comedian Bubba Dub in the house, man. I wanted him to come do a quick shout out for he about to rock the stage here at Uptown Comedy Corner, man. First time having him here, man. Y'all know my man, Mr. Trash himself. You know what I mean?
What's happening, y'all?
So I want him to come do a quick shout out, man. Bubba Dub, we just talking about how black men heal, man. We ain't gotta get to the topic. We just want to just introduce, man. Just do a quick shout to the audience, man.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Bubba Dub. I'm here at the Uptown Comedy Corner tonight. Big show, surrounded by a bunch of great people, as you see. Bunch of black men, black excellence. You know, it's something I love. So, man, I'm just happy to be here tonight. Thank y'all for having me on y'all show as well. That's all.
Absolutely, bro.
Appreciate
Glad
it.
to have you here, man.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, man. Looking forward to you rocking out here at Uptown, man.
Most definitely, most definitely.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, just real quick, man. Where did your inspiration come from, man, for how you hit the scene?
My inspiration has come from God. Just being first and foremost, I want to give him all the credit. Because without him, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Now, for as inspiration in the comedy gang is nobody but Richard Pryor.
Okay.
You know, that's the GOAT in my eyes.
Mine
you
too.
know,
What you know about Richard Pryor?
I know
What you know
everything
about
about
Richard
Richard Pryor. Which way is up? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
The Mac. You know what I'm saying? The car
Okay,
wash.
I'll ask you this. Did you ever listen to That Nigga's Crazy?
Yeah, Basatini, all them.
Bicentennial.
I listen to all his albums, man.
He's for real.
I'm
He's
about to
for
say, I
real.
think you should stop asking them questions before he say something else that we don't know
He's
about.
dead on point.
Yeah.
He's dead on point.
All right, well, let me ask you this real quick before
Yes,
you
sir.
go out in regard, you know, I know you said you got your inspiration from Richard Pryor and you give all the credit to God. Do you pass that down to other young comedians that you see coming up?
Most definitely. Most definitely do. I mean, why not? I don't want to. I feel like my purpose on earth is to teach. I don't want to have no regrets. Like, I don't want to be the only one in my camp with $1 million. I want everybody with $1 million. It's my goal for everybody to eat. Because if I'm not coming to a room, I don't want no. I want it to be like you don't know who the boss. You know what I'm saying? Everybody look apart. Everybody look like a king. So if everybody in your camp get money and got money, I ain't got to dish nothing out.
There it is.
Love that, bro.
Positivity, I like that.
Love hearing that.
This is a positive ass show, man. I haven't said infected once.
We live in negativity.
Because comics is on it.
We hearing that from somebody that does not have any gray on his face. That is a beautiful thing.
That's why I asked him what he
right
know
there,
about Richard Pryor.
man. That's a beautiful
Old soul,
thing.
man.
That's a
Old
beautiful
soul.
thing right
Old
there, man.
soul,
That's
Hey,
good
man,
stuff right there.
but so you're trash, man. I mean, you just woke up and just said, man, I'm gonna start tearing these folks up, man.
Well, basically, I was already doing it. I wasn't saying trash, but I was always talking, noise about the NBA. That's what I was doing.
Right.
And just one day, man, I always try to come up with sayings. And even though I can come up with trash, but I always put my emphasis on words, to make it. And I did it with the Detroit Lions. I was telling my manager, I'm finna just try something, man. Like kind of like shock value.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was with the trash, and it gets hit, man.
That's a good team to try with.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, well, this year you can do it with the Steelers.
See that?
Shot fired.
See that? Unnecessary.
You want to say something about Philly?
I'm just saying.
Oh, that's right. You can't say nothing about Philly.
No
'Cause they on
Falcons
the
fan.
Philly,
No
right? That's
Falcons
right.
fan has no reason to talk about me, so I don't even want to hear that. But anyway, we ain't gonna disrupt Bubba Dub, man. Talking that nonsense. That's trash, man. Talking trash.
Well, y'all cannot let me start this.
Hey, bro, we want to appreciate you, man. I know you gotta get ready for the show, man. We wanted you to come out and do a quick shout out to you, man. Hear from you, man.
All right, thank y'all so
Appreciate you
much.
coming
man.
through, bro. Real
God
talk.
bless.
Yes, sir.
God bless y'all.
Appreciate you,
Same,
man.
man.
Yes, sir.
Tell Dwight Howard, man. He can pop in if he want to, man.
Yeah, he back
Got
there.
Dwight Howard in the building, too. Come see Brother Dub.
The White House?
Yeah, he in the green room.
Oh, okay. Oh, man, that's
I
what's
was
up.
watching him this morning,
Word.
laughing my ass off.
Who bubbled up?
Yeah, I was watching.
He's hilarious, man.
Yeah.
Talk of shame, man.
He's hilarious.
Man. Just jumping on what as cops.
Uh-oh. Talk to him.
I served in 23 years in the military. I went to Iraq twice, and I suffer from PTSD. Seen a lot of bad shit. You go to war, they say war is hell. That shit real. That shit real. So I'm giving y'all the short version of this. I've been in therapy for 13 years. I've been retired for 13 years. It's an ongoing process. You never get over PTSD, you just learn to cope with it. You learn to deal with it. And I can just kind of, I don't know what it's like being a cop, but it's almost, to me, as I equate it to being a soldier, especially as we call it, going down range. And I'm a gun owner, but I was reluctant to get a gun because I see with them weapons through the human body. And having to deal with that mental part of it and those memories and those nightmares, you tend to have to go get help.
Yeah.
If not, you will crack the hell up. And had my moments of thoughts of suicide and homicide over other stuff. But I've been in therapy for 13 years. But I'm in a group. It's all black veterans within the VA. And I've been in that group here. I've been in Georgia for 4 years. I've been in that group for 2 years. And the thing I love about it, because you got a lot of old cats, a lot of Vietnam vets is in this group. It's like 20 of us. We used to be face-to-face, but the pandemic set everybody back, so we're doing it virtual now. But I get so much from the old cats, man, because you really put it in perspective. What I went through going to war is nothing compared to those guys went through war. When we go to these group sessions, we don't sit there and talk about our trauma. We could just be fellowshipping, and it means everything to all of us. We don't come in there just to relive our events and trauma that we've been through. We just go there and talk as men. And the thing about it, the best thing about it is there's no judgment. Because the best thing is that everybody's experienced something in there. And we have, that's the biggest, might be the worst thing, but we have in common. And that group literally saved my life. Coming here, went through a divorce, all that stuff. So Georgia kind of saved my life. Is coming here and moving and start all over again. But getting with these cats, and it's just been awesome. It's awesome. So that's one of my best outlets that I have, and along with this as well. This right here has put me in contact with a lot of dope brothers. This right here brought me right here, right now. This brother, through this brother. And it's just been awesome. Life-changing and everything, man. This thing right here will bring you into some spaces that, for me, I'm a kid from South Jersey and travel around the world, but it brought me to so many different people. People that I know, a Jewish lord from New York, old cat, one of my best friends. I ain't supposed to know him, technically, but one of my dopest friends. But this thing brings everybody together. But as long as you have an outlet, talk and get it off your chest. And I think the best thing is when you find a group and a crowd that there's no judgment, and you can actually let yourself be vulnerable. It means everything.
So let me ask you a question, man, because what you just said is completely deep and so true. But when you all come back from war, the military doesn't put you all in position of any kind of mandatory therapy. Is there anything that they do for you when you return?
Just check the block. Really, they do technically say that we put you in some kind of reintegration. It's called reintegration. Mm-hmm. But it's really not enough. They basically, I call check the block to say, when you get out, because I retired. I actually retired from Iraq. I dropped my paperwork while I was there because I had enough, because they was ready to send my black ass back over there again. And I wasn't going. So when I got back, while I was there, I went to therapy. Started over there. Set up my transition, getting out, because I knew I was retiring. So when I got back, because I was stationed in Hawaii at the time, when I got back, I seen very minimal mental health help. Back then in 09, when I retired, the VA was backed up.
Right.
It was a lot of dudes that was veterans that couldn't get help.
And homicide was high.
Yeah, it was.
Suicide.
The suicide rate within veterans back then was
all-time
astronomical.
Yeah.
And I remember, I'll share this. I was in the hospital for a month and a half due to PTSD. Put myself in the hospital because it was that much trauma that was on me. But during that time, you find out the statistics of how many veterans was actually committing suicide. Not because really of what they was going through is because they couldn't get help.
Right.
Couldn't get help through a country. And I was so upset because, to me, the government failed us back then. Because anytime, and this is, for me, common sense, anytime you know the country is going to war, you would think that they would prepare for casualties. You know, casualties don't necessarily mean the person is dead. Casualty is a person that was injured. You come back from war, they didn't prepare for that. And I never understood why they don't do that. It's going to be an influx, so why don't you not prepare for that? They didn't. So it came a backlog of veterans just waiting for any kind of help back then, any kind of help. So when I was in the hospital, we had a class and we were talking about the statistics of veteran suicide. And again, it's not just because of they didn't have no kind of medication. It's because they didn't have no help at all, financial, medical, or nothing. And it was horrible. And I remember I was really upset behind that.
Yeah, you're right about that, because they take a child, not a child, but an 18-year-old, that's a child.
It's a child.
And then they dump him in a situation
Absolutely.
where he's turned into a killer and an animal, but they give him no coping skills for it. Then they want to take that child and put him back into society.
And make him a
some of the
cop.
saddest things is, like, because I was in SWAT, and a lot of the saddest things I've seen was when veterans have meltdowns. You know, because some of them end up losing their life, and it was never necessary, but the mechanisms weren't there to take care of those young men.
Absolutely.
And women, because like now it's different. Back in the day, women was always in the back, but now women in the front.
Yeah.
And they're taking the same people until you see a dead body or until you are a cause of somebody's ending somebody's life.
Yeah.
Because you know the difference is, I think they didn't prepare for it, because back in the day it was just like police force. You know, they were patting me on my back, telling me, "Good job, Lewis. You know what my rep was? Yeah, that's that motherfucker."
Yeah.
And you get that rep, and then nobody seems to think, because nobody, oh, he's all right, he's good. That's a warrior. He's killer. You know. And I think what happens is now, like I said, I'm real pro what's happening now with the young people, and they're aware of their feelings, because we were always taught not to.
Right.
Not to say you're hurt, not to say you have feelings.
Men don't cry.
Exactly. Men don't cry. So I think, like I said, it's a beautiful thing, and I'm glad they have things set up to help the veterans now.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, law enforcement, I think, needs to, because law enforcement is still run by the old school, but the new school, that's where the disconnect, I think, happens.
Wow.
Atlanta has an outstanding chief right now, and he's more into, he's very good. But like I said, across the board, that's one of the biggest things, because they train people to kill,
Yep.
and think that's not going to turn them into animals, because everybody's not meant to be a killer. Because I'll be honest with you, I wasn't meant to be a killer. I wasn't raised that way.
Nope.
You know?
Yeah, and they do teach you from the day you step in basic training, kill, kill, kill.
Absolutely.
When you running doing cadence, I'm assuming they
Yeah.
do the same thing
Oh,
in the
yeah.
police
Oh, yeah.
academy. They teach you maybe not kill, kill, kill in the police academy, but for a soldier or a marine or whatever,
Remember
you're taught
napalm
to kill
sticks
and
to all
put
the
in your psyche.
children.
And then how do
Little
you
children of the
go from
world.
that, with my background, to deprogramming yourself? For 23 years, how do you deprogram yourself from that once you become a civilian? And going back to the Vietnam era, them guys had zero reintegration.
Absolutely.
You think about this, I remember a story of an old white dude from North Carolina told a story behind his service. He was literally in a dogfight in the middle of the jungle in Vietnam. 5 days later, he was on his damn couch. And you think about it back then, if you don't know what happened, they was considered baby killers. They was spit upon. And it was to the point when they got back in the stateside, they took
Right.
their uniform off.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to be labeled. And that's what happened. They got criticized, literally, talked about, shit on, all that. Next day, that dude was sitting on his couch with no integration. None. And that was like, he told me like 30 years later, when he went to that same program I was in, and to see a grown man break down and cry because he carried that trauma with him for 30 years. No outlets. They barely, if you don't know, Vietnam vets catch hell trying to even get help because the government didn't take care of them.
At all.
It's more politicized today compared to back then. So they playing catch up mode. So he carried that trauma with him for years. You see a grown old man break down like a baby, let me tell you, it's humbling. It's humbling, but you know what he went through. Because everybody that was in that program either seen some dead bodies, either or killed people. So it's tough. It's tough, but the good thing is that with that program, everybody has something in common. You couldn't let yourself be vulnerable, going back again of having an outlet.
And see, I don't even think that the military has, well, they have programs. They have programs to help. But the issue is, it should be something that's mandatory when you're coming up out, especially when you're coming from real wartime.
Absolutely.
What's helping right now, it is there. What's helping right now is people like you, people like me, because I fell through the cracks. When I got out in 91, I didn't have to shoot at nobody, nothing like that. I did go to a hot zone, but did see a dead body. But when I got back, it wasn't, you need to go do this. It was basically, all right, you're out.
Yeah.
But there was nobody to tell me that I should go and do it. But now, people like you, people like me, we're telling more of the people in the military now, whether you actually go, because even if you don't go to war, it's still a serious integration from that
Big time.
to
Transition.
civilian life. It's a different, everything is different, and it's a transition that you actually will need help with. And this is why, you know, us speaking to youth that's in the military, my son, my nephew,
Our sons.
you know, all of them, before they get out, we're making sure that they know this is what you need to do.
Yep.
Of course, while they're in, they looking at you like, oh, come on, Dad, you tripping, man. So I'm telling you, bro, telling you, report everything.
Everything.
So that when you get out,
Exactly.
you can get that help.
Yeah.
I didn't have that guidance when I was in. When you got out, if you could breathe and run at the same time, you were healthy. You didn't need no help. Wasn't nothing wrong with you.
that physical
you went
to
on
get out
about your
there like-
business, right? Yeah,
You good?
Yeah. Wasn't nothing wrong with you. All you knew is now I ain't got to worry about nobody telling me what to do when I don't want to do it.
Absolutely.
You know, but and you just run from the military instead of, or run
Make
from the
it better.
government instead of, you know, making the government do what they're supposed to do. Now it's there. Military life is kind of celebrated. I know what you're talking about in regards to some of the older cats. They look at the way, and this was back in 2000. They was looking, it was like, man, look at this guy. This guy get to walk through the airport with his uniform on, and people are, you know, they're giving him the front seat, they're giving him free
All
stuff.
that.
Back in them days, they ain't getting nothing. You said
But ridicule.
exactly. Before they got on the plane, they took their uniforms off. You know, and I don't think people realize when you're looking at older movies, when you see cats getting out of the military, when they go home, they're usually in civilian clothes. Because back then, you did not wear your
didn't wanna
uniform
use
out in public because you got ridiculed.
Yeah.
Now you wear your uniform so that you can get celebrated. But at the same time, unless somebody tells you to actually pursue the help that the government is supposed to give you, you probably wouldn't. Because the government is not going to reach out and say, hey, yo, come over here, we need to do this for you. We're going to do this
You
for
gotta
you.
fight for it
Yeah,
today.
they ain't going to do it, you know, so.
Gotta fight for it today.
You know, so and I would say the same thing with the police force, man. You know, hell, coming from the DR is a transition. Just coming, you think about how crazy that transition is to thinking about how crazy the transition is from being, like you said, somebody that actually went to a hot zone. And like you said, you don't even know, some people don't even know if they're actually responsible for taking someone's life. They don't even know.
Yeah.
But they know that there's a possibility that they did because they probably fired
Spraying
their
and
weapon.
praying, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know if they hit anybody, but it's
Shot
still
at
in the back of their
somebody,
mind
you
that,
don't know.
you know, that they shot at somebody.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's but again, it comes back to that space, man, that space to be able to, you know, feel and heal. And it's something that I think we need to keep creating for all of us. You know what I'm saying? You in the position, Angelo in the position that you're in. Like I said, I know what you, I know what you deal with. So you know, being able to find that space to where you can actually, I mean, you have a business partner, so that helps. But being able to find that space, because I know when we out on them trips and I'm driving and you over there mad at them folks, and you just let go. That's kind of your space because you can let it go at that time.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
it's you have to be able to find that space, man, to where you can actually, let it out and be able to heal from it, feel and heal. So it's something that I think we need to keep doing, creating that space and recognizing what it looks like. And being that you're up here because I know you have the counseling services and everything, like I said, great that your family is that space for you. You don't have to go that far for it.
No.
But know that there's a lot out there that don't have that space within family or don't have the space within friends, or at least they don't know if they have it or not because, we talk about it all the time. We as black men, you're supposed to, shut the hell up, keep going.
Yeah.
Man up. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You got a bill. Go get another job. That type of deal. And you quiet over there. It's almost scary.
I just don't know what's going on. I'm listening, but I got like military shit, mental health. I'm trying to figure out where we going with this.
All of the time.
I got PTSD from being around the way, but I don't know what's going on. I'm hearing health, fathers, this, that. I'm chilling. I don't know if somebody gonna go off in a minute. I'm trying to figure out what's really happening. I'm really trying to see where this conversation going. Mike on his phone, he asking cops for what the hell he gonna say. Like, I don't know what's happening. I'm here.
So Sean, you don't have a safe space. You don't have things where you need to issues and you need to just blow off steam.
Oh, that's what you're talking about? Yeah, I got a safe
and especially
space.
as a comedian.
Yeah, I gotta have it. I gotta say space.
Or when you was on Wall Street.
We gotta let the word.
Don't play hard now. You was on Wall Street.
Yeah, I love to say that, right? Yeah, of course, I was definitely.
You love to say it, but go ahead.
You already know Bank of America, 10 years. Florida New York Stock Exchange corporate exec. Yep, you want to learn how to trade these stocks? I can teach you. I need to start my classes. But listen, do you have I got a safe space. My safe space is I'm getting back to my safe space. My safe space is getting back in the gym and pumping some iron and punching a punching bag and getting it in so I don't hurt people.
So the stage is not. The stage
is the safest place for me.
Okay.
But even in that space, there's a bunch of other stuff that go on that I have to mentally prepare myself to be in that space.
So,
you know what I'm saying? Because the stage ain't always safe because you don't know what's going to happen, who wants to say what. So I got to be a whole different person and be prepared for what's about to come when I get on that stage and be like, gotcha, ha. But
And I get the gym, pumping iron, everything keeps you from, like you said, punching somebody or slapping somebody. But let me ask you, do you have a safe space where you can actually speak to someone that may be going through some of the same trauma?
Well, we talked about this, right? I went to counseling and they told me I'm beyond help. Yeah, go rewind the shows. My counselor told me I'm beyond help, and you think everything funny, and you gone. And I said, okay, whatever. I ain't going back.
So because
this real shit.
Because he, you don't know the difference between Sugar Sean and Sean Corleone.
Or just Sean.
To just Sean,
Right. I got Sean.
So Sean, you saying that you don't
Sean,
make phone calls at 4:00 in the morning to people to talk about things?
Oh, I got friends. Like I got something going. Like I'm gonna call you after this because I got something going on where I might have to smack the shit out of somebody. But like I said, yeah, you know what, Angelo, you might say space. Mike just don't answer sometimes. I think he knows what's about to happen.
You know what? I'm gonna start answering. I'm gonna start answering when you call, or at least calling you back.
I'm gonna call you because Angelo, he's good. He's
Angelo answer the phone. He will.
You good? Mike is great. But then sometimes he just let it ring for a while and be like, I'm about to hurt somebody, but he don't want to listen. But Angelo be like, okay, what's going on? He's more of a fatherly kind of, all right, yep, okay, I hear that, but just don't do that. You know, you need that. So I guess the Uptown Comedy Club is my corner, is my safe space. This show. Because I be bugging. I be ready. Like, I got some shit right now. When this is off the air, I'm ready. I'm about to go crazy. Yeah. Terry, no, I'm about to go off.
Yeah,
it's okay.
we heard some of it.
Well, I hope you ain't got it on camera because
No. Luckily, we wasn't up and running at the time. So
Oh, thank God, because it's about to get. We gonna have Ask a Cop come with me, and it's gonna be good because we're gonna need some law enforcement because I'm about to do something stupid. But yeah, we all good.
All right, good deal. But listen.
So y'all in my safe space. Yeah, y'all help me out. Yeah.
All right, good deal.
Y'all better answer the phone. I'm telling you, you never know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure.
I'm gonna be outside. I gotta stay outside. Well, sometimes it depends where I'm
We're
at
gonna
outside.
make sure to
Yeah,
make
I'm
that
outside.
happen going forward. Do we need to break it so that we can have the cuts?
Yeah, do it quick.
All right, listen, we're gonna come back. We're gonna get back into the second topic. Give us 3 minutes. We'll be right back. Classic Conversation with Jae Tea and Lo.
And that's a cop.
Yeah, it is. Be
Be
right
right
back.
back.
How many shows can we do?
Conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The Rick is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The Rick is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The Rick is gonna go. It's classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The Rick is gonna classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The Rick is gonna go. It's classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The Rick is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The Rick is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The Rick is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The Rick. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The Rick is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The Rick is gonna. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The Rick is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The Rick is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The Rick is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The Rick is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The Rick. Classic.
Yes, sir, man. It's your boy Daryl Dan, man. Make sure you support Let's Talk, man, on the podcast, man. We doing this Super Bowl big, man. And make sure you get everything you need from laughter to food and drinks from Uptown Comedy Corner, man. You might catch me in that thing too, man. I host on the weekends.
Conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The Rick is gonna go. It's classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. The Rick is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rhetoric. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to.
Yes, sir, man. It's your boy Daryl Dan, man. Make sure you support Let's Talk, man, on the podcast, man. We doing this Super Bowl big, man. And make sure you get.
Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. It's Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is going. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. It's Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo.
Yes, sir, man. It's your boy Darryl Dan, man. Make sure you support Let's Talk, man, on the podcast, man. We're doing this Super Bowl big, man. And make sure you get everything you need from laughing to food and drinks from Uptown.
Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. It's Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo.
How late
It's
is it?
because it's 11.
Oh, it's 11. That's early for us.
To me, it feels because this has been very interesting.
All right,
It never
what's
bothers me 'cause
happening?
I'm here anyway.
What's happening? What's happening? We are back. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. And Ask Cop, he's good to go. He's back. Did your man leave? He's still here.
Yeah, watching the show. He's still there.
Watch the show. All right.
That old school police.
All right, so we're gonna get back into this thing, man. Listen, conversation in regards to black men healing and feeling is a conversation that we're gonna keep going. Not tonight, but it is going to be an ongoing conversation because of the simple fact that it is something that I think needs to be talked about more.
He let Dwayne get that.
So it is something that we will keep talking about in the weeks to come. But we want to go ahead and get to the next topic for tonight. All right, the next topic is the emasculation of black men.
Oh, hell, you showed up the wrong time.
And
Ouch.
basically, basically what we're going to talk about, do you think there's an ongoing plan to emasculate black men, the power of black men, the manhood from black men in America? Do you think it's an ongoing plan in regards to television, radio, commercials, movies, basically media, some of the things that's shown now to be accepted, Some
Yes,
of the
sir,
things
man. It's your
now,
boy
make sure
Daryl
you
Dan,
walk
man. Make
around.
sure you
There
support
go.
Let's Talk,
Let's
man, on the
Talk. You walk right in
podcast,
front of
man.
the
We're
camera.
doing this Super Bowl big, man. And make sure you,
You
get
know,
everything you need from laughing,
there's
the
a lot of
food and
things
drinks
going
from
on out
Uptown
there.
Comedy Corner, man. You might catch me in that thing too, man. I host on the weekends. You dig
When
it?
we talked about this before, we talked about what was being shown on TV shows. the
Tune in
movies,
and subscribe
the
to the
commercials, how there's always,
Damn Right podcast.
a gay couple.
Tune in and subscribe
And
to
how
the Damn
now
Right
that's
podcast with your boy
perceived
comedian
as the
Daryl
norm.
Dam
But then
And your boy
Big
Mo.
had
I
a
should've
conversation earlier today that was
you
really
said and,
interesting
yes.
because he took
Say
a
and,
different
you say that.
view of it.
We're gonna do it again.
in regards
Just keep
to
going. All right. Make
taking
sure you
the black man out
subscribe
of the home.
and tune in to the Damn Right
How it got
podcast with
started.
your boy comedian Daryl Dam.
back in
And
the,
your
what'd
boy
say,
Mo
70s.
Humble.
You dig it? Hey man, if we ain't funny, you can slap shit out of us,
Well,
man. We
in
have
regards
fun
to
with
the
all type
welfare
of topics,
system
man.
got-
You feel me, man? And make sure you
When
tune
the
in and
Welfare
make sure
Act
you
came
support
in and basically
Uptown Comedy
1973
Club,
when
man. Where you get your
women
laugh
got
on,
the
get some
protections
drinks, some
under
food.
42
There's some
women.
fine ass waitresses in there,
It
all
wasn't
type of
a
shit, man.
black
Bring your
woman
lady,
thing, it was
just
really a white
don't
woman
look at the
thing.
waitresses, but
They just allow black women.
it's all good. Go on YouTube, man. Subscribe on YouTube. Daryl Dam on YouTube.
Divide really
The
started.
Damn Right
Go back
podcast.
further than that. And I'd love to hear your perspective.
And
she's gonna give it.
Oh, she gonna give it to you. She gonna give it to you. And I,
Make sure
like I
you
said,
tune
we
into
had
the Damn Right podcast with your
conversation
boy
earlier
comedian
today,
Daryl
when you say
Dam.
that
And your
women
boy
got their
Mo
power.
Humble.
You dig,
Not
man? We do
saying
this
that
each and every day.
women were over men because when what did they say, the 80s, what was the 80s for the ladies or something like that, when the women started getting more equal pay. It still didn't, it started then, but it didn't get it. But what we're talking about basically is when the Welfare Act started, there couldn't be two parents in the household or something like that. There couldn't be a man in the house.
If a woman decided to get on the welfare system, the man was not allowed to be in.
The house.
That was the part. That's the way the system
He's
was
not
set up.
allowed to live in the
It
house.
was not allowed to live in the house
Right.
in order to be in that program.
Right.
So that in itself separated us. Literally,
Kind of. Yeah.
literally, the man could not be in the home.
Or you could have opted to not get on welfare,
That was
get
the
more
thing.
work,
That was the thing.
provide for your family, provide the support necessary to not need welfare. I mean, there were options available.
What you think about
but
this?
you're
During the
right
60s,
with regard to what
during
you're
the 60s
saying.
was when when a lot of the jobs that we had here, all of the manufacturing jobs, was shipped overseas. When they sold out a lot of this stuff. Look at the old movies, back not Which Way Is Up, but
The
back
Fall
in
of a
old
Mercantile
Sidney
System.
Poitier movies when they actually worked. They came home and gave the women the check, and they took care of their home. All that was taken away when all those jobs was gone. Not to be too analytical, not to be. I know. It's
Be as
more-
analytical as you want. I'm for it.
not as like that was the only reason why. There was multiple reasons.
Right.
But I just think the system was set up for us to be divided.
Yes.
It really was.
The system, I agree with you 100%. The system is set up for us to be divided, but the division was based on our choices. We did not have to succumb to the system.
Who was
That was
our, though?
the people who made choices. Like, I mean, there's always options available. So you can say this was set up for this to happen, but you still have to choose for this to
Absolutely.
happen. And it was not this. I'm 100% with you. The system is messed up.
Absolutely.
We live currently in several fucked up systems.
Yes.
That's just one of them. Our
Absolutely.
education system's fucked up. Our prison
Absolutely.
system's fucked up. Our legal system's fucked up.
President's fucked up.
Our government is fucked up. And all of it was designed to work against us. From the time that we were brought here in the slave ships till right now, all of the systems in place are designed to work against us. But instead of us like getting smart and being like, you know what, let's fuck the system. Let's not even be a part of their system. Let's not deal with their system. Let's find another way to survive and to make it and to stay together and to work together and to keep our families together. We succumbed to the system. Like we were like, you know what? No, let's find a way to be a part of the system. Let's find a way to integrate. Let's find a way to get their welfare
Simulation.
and divide our families. Like we had choices and we made choices that led to our downfall.
You right,
I
sister.
agree.
That's why Kanye West was saying what he was saying.
I didn't
Amen. I like
disagree with
Kanye.
Yeah,
Kanye.
that's why Kanye. I'm in my corner. You put me back in the corner. You ain't got me in the corner. But that's why Kanye West was saying what he's saying, and everything that's going on with him happened right now because of what he said.
Right. to an I mean,
Angelo hates when I speak and I end it like that, but I had to end it like that.
Kanye keeps getting silenced because he's got a lot more that he wants to say. But I mean, the shit is real. Like, and I'm not saying that our choices were good. We didn't have like a lot of good options, right? But if we stuck to it, you know what I mean? Just like take the bus boycott, for instance, right? When we got kicked off the buses, or when Rosa Parks got kicked off the bus and we made the choice to boycott, that wasn't a 1 day or a 1 week or a 1 month thing. That went on for a long time. It went on, but we stuck to it until finally we won the opportunity to sit wherever we wanted to, right? It was no more white sit here, whatever, because they need us.
Was involved.
Right, economically, they need us. But instead of us recognizing our power and saying, okay, we're going to stick together regardless, and if we stick through this long enough, they got to come back to us because they need us. We are the resource.
I agree.
But instead of us acting like we have the power that we have, we are like, you know what? Fuck each other. Let's just divide because it's easier. I want my woman to have welfare because I don't want to have to pay to support these damn kids. So I'm going to go stay somewhere else. That's the bullshit, okay? No, that is the bullshit because hold on, let me finish.
Yeah, elaborate on that.
Because y'all left a woman alone in a house to raise those kids by herself and depend on that government, that same system you're telling us is fucked up. You made her depend on them for her support and her security, and you didn't even have your presence there in the home. But y'all want to talk about what a good fathers you are, and I'm not saying everybody's a bad father.
A lot of brothers was taken out of the household.
No, you weren't taken out of the household. You walked out.
A lot of that depends on who. Like a lot of brothers was taken out of the household.
Bullshit on that.
I will say the ones that were put in prison for wrong.
No.
Yeah, but you can't say because welfare you were taken out of the household.
Do you think that's the majority of black men? Like 51% or better?
Say that again. Do I think what is?
What you're saying. Do you think that's the majority of black men did that?
With regard to what
to
specifically?
the black family.
That left the house.
In that time period, no. I don't think that was the majority of black men. But I think the trickle-down effect has gotten us to where we are. Because what we're not understanding, in addition to the fact that, okay, let's say it was only 10% of black men that made that choice, and the other 90% tried everything they could to keep their families together. And they worked hard, and they provided, and they did what they were supposed to do, right? That 10% of children raised in those households grew up in a single-family home. They did not know how to be in a relationship. They did not know how to hold a family together. They did not know how to be a father to their children. So when they went out into the world and got married, and they didn't know how to keep that shit together, then we got divorced. And we saw the divorce rate increase from 20% to 30% to 50%. And right now, 70-some% of households are single-parent households.
Where does that statistic come from, though? That's not
that's
a
all
fact.
men that did that?
I'm not. No, I'm not. Absolutely. I'm not saying it's all. I'm not. No, I'm not saying that it's all men that do that. Because to be honest, in my opinion, men are not the ones filing for divorce. Men, most of the time, when men get married, they don't leave. They push a bitch till she want to leave.
You know
I'm just saying.
You know why? It's not economically conducive for us because
I agree.
We're the ones that have to pay. We're the ones that have to pay. The reason why I ain't gonna call it passionate because I fall.
I wish a nigga would pay. Please make them pay. No, I'm just kidding. Talking the mic.
The reason why I'm so passionate about that because women do lead, as you just stated. 80% of the time. Women file for.
Women are more often the person to file for divorce.
I fall in that same category you said.
I did too.
My kids live in North Carolina, right? And the reason why I ain't gonna say I left, I was put out. I was left.
Your choices, though, it was. I don't know. I don't know this man.
That's what I'm trying to explain.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Christy Gay now.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I just want you to know there is other things that goes down when women do leave, but they don't have to leave. So it's just not a man thing. And I know you're generalizing. I'm generalizing as well. So I just don't want to think that women don't have to be held accountable.
I'm not
as well.
generalizing. What I'm saying is that for a marriage to come together and for a marriage to break apart, it takes two people.
Absolutely.
So it's your choices as well as her choices that led to
Absolutely.
the demise. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm saying it's your choices.
Who's yours?
Whoever is involved. If it was you and your wife and you were put out, it was partially your choices that led to that.
No, I was serving overseas.
That was a choice you made,
I was
right?
a soldier before I was a husband or a father.
Were those choices you made?
I was a soldier before
You
I was a
can't
husband.
win that. You can't
I
win
know
it.
that. I already know that.
She's gonna keep
Choices.
saying it's your choice.
I already know that.
All the way back to where you actually sign up for basic training.
I already know that. I already know that.
Leave that one alone.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm gonna stop that one early.
It's okay to have. It's
Just
okay
gonna keep going.
because it will go back and forth because everybody everybody kind of picks
In
a
case you
side.
can't tell, they've
But the
met me
bottom line
before.
the bottom line is that we are separated. And it's
Yeah.
something that we have to fix,
Yes,
regardless of the system, the way it's been set up, because it's been set up for us to be divided.
I agree.
And the fact is that we can't get it together because that crabs in the basket shit is real. You know, we are here to pull each other down. Why we do that, I also think that it goes all the way back to slavery. You know, we've been emasculated in front of, you can cringe all you want, but it started all the way back then. I'm not
I'm not
using that-
disagreeing with you.
I'm not using that as the reason, but it's part of the symptom. It's part of it.
Right.
Going back to how we was emasculated in front of our women, our wives was raped in front of us, all those things, and it's not, when have we had a country, as a country, that said, let's put the black community and put them in a position where they can actually get counseling. I'm talking about as a whole community.
Why would they do that? This is the thing. This is
I
what
know
I'm
they
talking
won't
about.
do
Hold
it.
on.
We're a cash
We're
cow.
still depending on them to fix our
I
problems.
agree.
We have to do it. They're clear. They've designed everything to work against us, right? So if we're still looking at them to fix it, we're looking at the wrong
I
thing.
agree.
We're looking in the wrong areas. We're looking in the wrong place. But if we know that there's some healing that needs to take place, that if we
what's
know
not
that
happening.
as a people we're all suffering from post-traumatic slave syndrome, if we know that culturally our men are being emasculated and our women are being masculinized,
Yes.
and our kids are being taken advantage of left, right, and center, to the point where most of our children right now are walking around like they're in some kind of prison camp with their pants sagging. Like, we see all of this. We know this is happening, and we're still looking at them to fix it.
I'm not saying we should have them.
You're
fix it.
saying that they should put something in place
No, I'm
for
saying-
us to
I'm
get
not saying they
counseling.
should.
I'm
I'm
saying
saying there's
we
never been-
need to do that.
Absolutely. I'm just saying it was every.
So since, because he did say they, but let me ask you this: when you say that, because it's like you said, it's something that has always been there. Why haven't we, not they, why haven't we created something for the counseling 4 hours? Give me your
That's the
opinion.
right question.
Give me your opinion on that.
Why haven't we? Ignorance.
Great answer.
And I mean that in the most respectful possible
No, it's
way,
true.
but it's
Oh,
just
no.
by ignorance. I'm not saying anybody is stupid.
Not
I'm
knowing.
saying a lack of knowledge.
Absolutely.
We don't have an understanding of what needs to be done. We don't have an understanding of how to do things differently. And most of us have a mentality of, if it happened to me, it's something that I need to continue to inflict on somebody else. We defend the negative things that happen to us instead of recognizing that they're hurting us and the people around us. And so we don't even recognize that we have a need to heal until we're much later in life, if ever. Because, I mean, to be honest, I'm looking at my grandparents, I'm looking at my parents, and they're still in pain from stuff that happened to them when 5 years old, 6 years old, 13 years old. They're still struggling with the pain of that and never thought to get counseling, never thought to go and heal. It wasn't until I went on my own personal healing journey and went back to my mom and was like, you know what? I understand that these are some of the choices you've made, and part of it is a generational curse. These are cycles and patterns of habits that you've passed down generationally from one to the next, to the next, to the next. And instead of anybody saying, damn, I didn't appreciate that, I didn't like that, that was fucked up, that never should have happened to me, we dismiss it, we excuse it, we push it under the rug. We say, look how I turned out. It made me a stronger, better person. No, it made you more violent. It made you more angry. It made you more hateful. It made you more resentful. And it made you bitter. That's what it made you. But if you can't admit that about yourself, then you can't even seek the healing that you need. If you can't admit that you have an insecurity, if you can't admit that you have pain, if you can't admit that you've suffered, then you can't admit you need help. And if nobody's willing to admit that they need help, then nobody's going to seek the help. And nobody's going to create an organization to give the help, because we're all walking around saying, I'm fine.
Okay.
I think it's deeper than that. I think it's more of a money situation. It goes back to Reaganomics. Reagan, when he had to deal with the air traffic controllers, he also did away with mental health care in America. It's never been fixed. It's never been refunded. So what ends up happening, they don't have the money to give a mass help or help to anybody.
They've got money for whatever they want money for.
Well, to war, that's your Biden, right? He gives billions to the Russians, right?
They got money to put wherever they want.
Well,
that's what I'm saying, yeah. But when you say he did away with, you said he did away with
federal funding for mental health care.
For whom?
All states.
But,
all states
but
no
for
longer,
so state health care.
Yes. Well, the federal government used to subsidize mental health care in the states.
Right.
When he defunded it, it went from you're having millions of dollars coming in to you have to come up with the money yourself. People see mental health care is only now being able to speak on it. Because before, when I first came on, you would not dare say you had an issue, because you'd be put on a desk duty if you said if you felt some kind of way about something you had to do.
Right.
And I think with mental health care in the black community, I'll just be honest with you, and you know me, I'm kind of far right, but I think what happened in the African American community, we've never been treated, and it's almost like a sickness, like you said, generational, that we're passing on to generation after generation. And they really don't want to stop it, because at the end of the day, we're a multi-billion-dollar entity by ourselves. We are a smaller minority, but we spend more money than everybody. Mm-hmm. And mass incarceration is mass business. Thank you, Michael Jordan. He's invested heavily in that. And it's one of those situations where,
Not
you know,
I already got a question in my head.
you know, that's one of the things I think they like us where we are. They like us broken, because if we're not broken, you know, we'll get where we should get. But when we're broken, everybody can use us, from the welfare system to EBT. You got to realize we fund a lot of jobs, and when you go in those places, the people don't look like us. Incarceration of in the city of Atlanta and some of the major cities, when you look at police officers, they're Caucasian typically. They don't reflect the populations that they police. So
even when they do, the policing is the same. I say even when they do reflect the populations that they police, the policing is the same.
no, not necessarily. I mean, that's a very limited. You can have that view, but
Before we get to cops all being messed up, let me ask you this. You said something that was pretty profound. You said in regards to so many people going through things and then saying that the things that they went through made them stronger. And that's true. But it made me think, do you think that, say, a single dad or a single mother back in the 70s and 80s had the space to say that I need help? Because if they said that, would that take away from them doing what they needed to do to survive?
What do you mean, to say I need help?
Say I need help. I'm going through some stuff. You just said that.
So you're saying because they were so burdened and bogged down and going through the stresses of trying to provide, they didn't have the opportunity to seek out help, or even
not the opportunity, the space to be able to step back and say I need help, because that means now they got to stop grinding and hustling or whatever it was they was doing.
We've just got a right to vote and things like that. It just came. That separation from that period is a small time frame. So you're talking about something that most white people didn't have the ability to do that then, and you're expecting somebody black who's typically undereducated is going to make a decision, rationalize that. They can't rationalize it because they don't see it as a problem. That's part of the problem of any type of abuse, anything needing anger management, like, you know, the gentleman speaking first, if you don't recognize a problem, you're not going to try to fix it because as far as you're concerned, there is no problem.
And that's what I'm saying in regards, kind of the same thing. You know, if you're in the grind, I mean, now people can be in the grind and still have time to party and have a good time. Back then, they was in the grind. If they had a good time, it was in the basement in the building they lived in. They didn't go out. They was grinding. Was there a space for them to actually recognize that they actually needed help?
I don't know if there was space, and I will acknowledge what you're saying in that it does take time and space and energy to pursue a healing process. A lot of emotional energy and a lot of mental energy is required to actually heal, because in order to heal, the healing process is such that you have to open a lot of old wounds, and that can be very traumatic. And it can sometimes take you out of the things that you need to do for a period of time, however long your process is. But I think beyond having space, like if you want to reflect back on the 70s and 80s, which I can't really speak on that well because I wasn't here. However, what I
wasn't here either, so.
What I would suggest is, no, but in all seriousness, I think because of the time frame that was, it's like they were still fighting. Like my parents lived in an area where they were still dealing with Jim Crow. You know what I mean? Like they were still whites only signs in lots of parts of the South in the 60s and 70s and 80s. So when you're just coming out of that and you're getting your first taste of rights and your first taste of freedoms, you may feel like, okay, we've overcome this. We've gotten past this. Like we've survived this. Like we're making progress. And that sometimes that feeling of progress supersedes the need to heal. You know what I mean? Like it supersedes the need to feel like you're healing, because people sometimes correlate healing with progress, right? So sometimes when you're making progress, it feels like healing. So you don't recognize that there's this other thing that I need to go back and heal. And with all that stuff going on, it's just like, okay, let's move forward. Not to mention a lot of the things that we now in our generation are trying to heal are traumas from that era that were passed down from Jim Crow. So, you know, and it was like beating your children, right? Like that came from slavery. And then in the Jim Crow era, it's like parents were beating their kids because if they didn't, the cops would. And the cops would tell them to their face, like, you better beat his ass because if I get my hands on him, I'm gonna tear him up. And so our parents were like dealing with that and saying, like, I'm beating you out of love. Like, I'm doing this because I love you, right? And then you have the next generation where that's not the threat. But it happened to them, and that's what their parents said when they did it. I'm doing this out of love. So it's like, okay, I'm beating you, but I'm doing it out of love. But then you've got these people who are also stressed out and frustrated, and they're not beating out of love. They're beating out of frustration. They're beating because they don't know how to talk through it. They're beating because they don't know another way to discipline. They're beating because someone told them that the Bible says, spare the rod, spoil the child, and they took that to mean that you need to beat your kids. But the Bible also says it's the rod of discipline, and beating is not the only form of discipline. Discipline, the word discipline, means to teach, not to beat. So it means teach your kids, not beat your kids. But a lot of us don't take the time to understand the difference. All we know is this happened to me, so I'm gonna do it to my kids.
I'm glad they ain't got no more kids.
Well, you know, they
ain't got to beat them no more.
You know, you said something earlier about crabs in the barrel, right? You know, somebody said, you know, the crabs didn't ask to be in the barrel.
True.
They were placed in the barrel.
Yes.
So their fight out was just, you know, the nature. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what our culture has been.
Exactly.
Put in a barrel.
Right.
And so we're fighting out by nature. You know what I mean? So when you have those situations, and I'm saying to say, you know, the culture in itself has been placed in such a barrel, you know, and certain things haven't been offered. You know, you say do it yourself, but if there's no places in your community for that, then how you gonna do it yourself? If there's nothing around, there's no offering to it.
Not an example.
Yeah, there's no example of it. And then the only example that we did get was if you sought help, you were weak
Right.
as a man. I mean, that's the culture, you know, the culture that we were placed in. We were put into that barrel. No crab voluntarily jumped in the barrel.
You're absolutely right. But when some crabs get out of the barrel, they don't go back and try and help other crabs out of the barrel enough.
But that
That's what
goes
I'm
back
suggesting.
to slavery mindset. And
Right, they
all these
like, oh, I'm
mindsets
out the
in
barrel.
place.
I'm out the barrel. Let me sidestep my way to the white neighborhood, and then white people are like, we don't want you over here. So you get a lot of the OJ syndrome, where it's like, you know, I'm not black, I'm OJ, until you kill two white people. And
Okay.
Exactly. So
Going way off course.
Allegedly, we don't know that he did that. We can't say he did.
allegedly, yeah.
Even
OJ guilty as hell.
Even though, like, I
There he
use
is.
myself as an example. My father was an old cat. If my father was here today, he'd be over 100 years old. Back then, they weren't taught. It wasn't the norm how we teach our kids today. There wasn't no such thing as, hey, play baseball with your dad. With your kids. They just survived. So those skills was not taught then. So which I didn't get that. I'm using myself as an example.
Right.
So I had a hard time, and thanks to my ex-wife, taught me how to even tell my kids I love them. So those traumas or those missed opportunities of being loved or even told you, hey, I love you, it's not there for a lot of us.
Yeah.
A lot of us. And I can go even deeper when they throw in all black communities to help divide, throwing crack in our communities, all these different roadblocks that did not help us. It was not conducive to
You're
us.
absolutely right, and that's exactly the point that I'm making, is because of what happened to us. It's like it's being passed down, right? So you finally were able to get to a point where you were able to tell your kids you love them, and now your kids are going to be able to tell theirs, and that's you've broken that curse, and now there's a new trend in your family that's going to be able to be passed down from generation to generation.
What about those people that never got out of poverty? What about those people that's living in poverty? Their fathers is gone because they're living in poverty, and you know what communities are being targeted when it comes down to drugs and all that stuff. Everybody trying to eat.
You're
And that's not making an
absolutely
excuse. I'm
right,
not making
and
an
I'm
excuse.
saying it's all by design. There's no
Absolutely.
excuse. It's by design. It is intentional. The realest shit that ever happened to me was when I was in college. I took a course because my college degree, degree was supposed to be in aviation, but it fell under the urban policy and urban studies school. And so I had to take classes in policy, human resources, urban studies, all of that. And I had this white teacher who was like an urban development teacher who broke down to us as a class, which my class was primarily white because it wasn't like one of those fields of studies that a lot of black people go into.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
I'm not throwing shots. It's just that was
a shot.
But anyway, this old white guy, he starts breaking down to us how the projects were created by design. He was like, it was an experiment that, you know, we wanted to see if we created this space where everybody was on top of each other and there was no transit running necessarily close by or, you know, in that area to like help people to get out and find jobs. And there were no jobs in the area. And there was a gas station and a liquor store and a pawn shop and a gun shop on every corner. What would happen? Is by design. Like it was, that's why I'm saying there's so many systems in this country that's fucked up. That was a system that still exists in this country that's fucked up, right? And several of us know that. Like you hear Jay-Z song, you know why they call it a project? Because it's a project. It's an experiment. We're in it only as objects. Like we know this. He knows this. He's in a position to do something different. You know what I'm saying? Like we know that there are people who know what's going on, are in a position to help. And the help is putting it in a song, and we sing the song and we listen to the lyrics, but who's helping everybody get out the projects? Like when I say we need to do it.
If you take away ignorance, that's the first step.
So now you know, he knows, they know, a lot of people know, right? We're at a point now, where a lot of people know that the projects is a project, is an experiment.
Absolutely.
How many people have gone back to educate the people in the projects about the experiment?
Yeah, but there's a lot
How
of
many
people that get out of the projects,
Hold
though.
on. How many people have gone to project areas and put other types of businesses in those areas and jobs that pay well so that those people could work their way out of the projects? How many people have gone and fixed and created new communities
There's
to
a
help
lot.
those people thrive and give them trades and occupations that will serve them better instead of just putting it in a song? Like, you can go fix, you can create, you can build stadiums, you can do all kinds of stuff with your money. You can invest
to
in
God.
prisons, but you ain't investing in the projects. Jordan, like he said, is heavily invested in a prison.
It's a
How
lot
much
of-
money does he have in the projects?
I think,
A
I think,
lot. Just want to hire.
I think, and I believe that have you seen the
Nah,
movie
give me
13?
that chair right there.
Yes.
Let me get that chair
I
right
think-
there. That's Dwight Howard. That's a Atlanta native, Big D White. Yo, I'm from Brooklyn. What up? This Sugar Sean. I'm outside. Welcome inside. Welcome inside. We got yo, clap it up, y'all. The whole shit changed. Everything changed.
Hold on one second. I gotta.
Yeah, everything done changed real quick. Yeah, we outside, but we inside.
Got my man Dwight Howard in the building. What's up, brother?
Oh, not much, man.
Put him on the spot a little bit.
It's all good. We had saw Bubba Gump today. It was great, man. He did a really good job. He used to talk trash about me on Instagram and YouTube. So I did a show earlier today with Funny Marco. Yeah. And he was on it. So he used to always talk trash. We went back and forth, but I just wanted to come back and show him some love tonight. Yeah, he did a good
Yeah,
job.
Dwight, you doing comedy now?
Am I doing comedy?
Yeah.
I would like to do this drown-proof testing. Where we had to swim
done
across
that.
this lake with a 25-pound vest on. Then they tied our hands and our feet together and they dropped us in the middle. We had to jump up and down. Or go to the bottom, come up 25, 30 times. Really? The craziest thing I ever did in my life, man. But it actually changed my life. It helped me really understand that you can use fear in any way. You know, fear to overcome any situation, and fear can take you out of a situation. So it's just really how to use fear to your advantage. You know what I'm saying?
That's interesting.
So a lot of people, when we get faced with a situation, sometimes a situation might make us push back, but we can use that fear to actually propel us ahead. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
And you know, I learned a lot of that while we was there because it was some crazy shit that I had to do, man. Yeah. And I was afraid of heights. I had to do some things where I had to jump out of towers. I was 235 feet. Never been that high in my life. Wow. You know, but you know, I learned how to overcome all that. You know what I'm saying? So it just made me a better person, a better man. And I was glad I did it. We had to go out to the desert in Jordan, Wadi Rum, Jordan. We can only bring 3 pairs of underwear. We stayed in the desert, 115 degrees. It was only 16 of us. And then after 10 days, there was only 2 people that was left.
Really? And you was one of the 2?
I lasted to the last couple hours. When I got kidnapped, they told me I was done because what we were doing was preparing as though we were special forces, as though we were like going to go get Osama bin Laden or somebody.
Wow.
So what I did in that moment would have got my whole team killed. So they had to take me out and say, you can't be a part.
What'd you do?
Well, we had got kidnapped, like I told you. So I was already 9 hours deep into this kidnapping where they for real, this is like real. They had headphones on our head. They put us in a dark room. They playing noises like babies crying, somebody scratching on a chalkboard, the craziest noises you can think of. And we just got to stand with our hands up in a dark room. We can't hear, we can't see nothing. Then they might put us in a sandbox in the ground and throw sand at us. Or they might do something to really like torture us. And so after we finished this, I really had to go get counseling and all that stuff, because psychologically, I was messed up for a while.
Yeah.
It was
How long were
real.
you in it? Because you volunteered for this, right?
I did. Like, we had to write death letters to our family.
Wow.
I could have died.
So how long were you in it before it started feeling real and not like something you volunteered?
Because it was a
for?
show.
The first moment we got home, as soon as we got there, we was on a train in the middle of the desert. They took the train and they bombed it. Boom, bomb go off in the train. 4 sergeants jump out. Get on the ground. Put these on your head right now. That's when it got real.
Okay.
Then we got to the fort. Take your clothes off right now. Y'all our property. Jump into this water over here. Get your head, your whole body full of sand, because that's where y'all gonna be the whole time y'all here. It was real. This wasn't no TV show like where you go home and you take a shower in your nice little room and you just chilling like, oh, that was cool. Right. This is real life. Like when we went back, I was like, man.
You didn't want to do it no more.
But you say, you were saying.
People quitting in the first day.
Yo, because I feel like when you know it's a TV show, you be like, what's really going to happen? Like, I ain't
Right,
gonna
that's
tell
what I'm saying.
But you
This
telling me
is
it was
real.
that, like,
We had to
yo, they
sign
was blowing
death
shit up.
letters.
Wow. You signed a
We
what?
had to write death letters and sign death like saying if something happened to us.
Oh, nah, they watch. So why'd you stay?
I had to write letters to my
Nah,
my
I'd have left
kids
after that.
and my mama and everything.
After that first letter, I'd have left.
And I was crying the whole time, and I had to read it in front of everybody.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
Like,
after that
so it's
first letter,
designed
you
to
ain't
break
feel like
you?
you had to leave?
Yes. You said what?
After that first letter, you was just like, yo, nah, there ain't enough money for this. I'm good. I don't got
I
to do
didn't
this.
care about the money. I wanted to break myself. I wanted to test my
I like
limits.
that.
I wanted to see
That's
what I
real.
really was about.
I gotta talk to you
why
outside
I
of
went over
this
there. I
right
was
here,
like,
yeah.
you know what? This summer I want to find out who I am.
Where was this at again?
This is in Wadi Rum, Jordan. Away from anything I would have known, and I can't call nobody for help. Nobody.
You said
I'm out
Jordan?
there by myself, and that's how I really learned who I was.
I'm listening to your story.
Wait, you
because
said
a lot
Jordan?
of that training,
Jordan?
Jordan, yes.
In
a lot of that
Israel?
training, I was telling you, that no doubt, it was survival training.
I'd have quit.
I was in the military for 23 years, and a
I
lot of that
salute
stuff,
you.
a lot of the stuff you went through. I've been to some of the training, air assault school, all these different schools. They're meant to break you down mentally.
Yeah.
Anyway. They're meant- that's-
It's supposed to.
don't lighten it up. He did how many tours?
2 tours in Iraq.
2 tours in
Wow.
Iraq.
Because I know,
So, and
I
it-
understand how tough it is, like, just from doing 10 days.
Yeah. I did 2
And
tours.
we
Psychologically,
did- what we did was actually supposed to be 60 days. It's a 60-day course, but they did it in 10 days if you last 10 days.
wow.
So
So
it was-
even
Nah, after
knowing it was only 10 days, you was like,
Nah, after the first
Wow.
10 minutes, I was out, man.
No, it was-
Once I would have had to write my
like,
letter.
It's a lot of celebrities there. So it's Mel B,
Oh, okay.
Montel Jordan.
He's still alive?
He was there. Every time I saw him, all I kept saying was,
Montel
"This is
Jordan
how
still
we do it." He was like, "Bro, leave me alone." I'm like, "Bro, I can't help it, dog. It's just something about the song is you."
And you needed that song at that time.
Just to keep me
That's a cage, baby. That's a cage.
Mike Piazza, Kenya Moore.
wow.
So it was a lot of different celebrities from around the world, and we had to try to last as long as we could, like really facing ourselves. It wasn't a competition with somebody else. It was really you. Like one day we had to push this truck that was 3,000 pounds. We had to push it 700 meters.
How many
in the
y'all?
desert. After we pushed it, we had to take everything that was in it, all our equipment, our bags are 30 pounds. We had to take all that up the mountain. And the mountain went like this. When we got to the top, I was like, bro. One lady, she took off a number right there. She couldn't do it no more.
She was done.
And it's what we learned, that it's more honorable to say, like, you know, I give than to try to mess up the whole team. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we feel like, you know, I can do this, but we really can't. And then we messing up everyone else around us and say, you know what? This ain't me.
how long did you prepare for it? Like,
You can't prepare for this.
I mean, but did you like physically train your body
I tried to.
No matter what you do,
nothing you can do.
Nothing you can do for
train
that.
this. Like
Even-
this stuff
even
is
going to
mental.
war.
The first thing I had to do was we had to climb up this mountain. No ropes or nothing. Climb up this mountain. Then there was a rope probably about this thick, and there was another side of the mountain. There's a valley in between. We had to kind of like slide across.
Oh, wow.
I was so afraid to even step on that rope that I just started crying. And I was like, man, I can't do this.
They got it on tape.
They
like
got all this
yeah.
on tape. Me boo-hooing like a baby.
Yeah, I feel
I don't
you.
care. If anybody
It don't
see
matter.
me and say something, I'm like,
Give a
bro,
damn.
there's no, I did it.
Your dog, you
I
6'9".
stepped
Ain't
out
nobody
and tried
telling
this. You would
Ain't nobody
never
telling
know.
you. Ain't nobody
You
telling
can't
you
tell me
nothing.
nothing, bro. I know who I am.
Ain't nobody telling you nothing.
I love
Glad
that.
I did it. It changed my whole life. So I was glad.
Well, that
Nah, that's
correlates.
real.
That
All right, well,
directly
let-
correlates
let-
to the
let me
show.
ask you-
I think I'm gonna need
Hold,
that.
hold on, because I know you ain't got too much time here.
No, they need to grab.
We need to take one break with Dwight. Can we borrow 1 second?
Yeah.
All right, 'cause
Hold that thought.
yeah, hold that thought, because
Yeah, we have more questions for you.
I got a real question for you in a minute.
All right.
But I know you got to get a break.
Okay. What you want me to say?
Oh, he done got in the front of the podcast.
Hey, man, this live, bro. We got Dwight Howard in the building. We good.
Yeah, but nah.
We Gucci.
But you know what?
All right,
He- oh.
So, man, hey, if y'all ain't came out to check out Bubble Dub, y'all better get to the show. If not, y'all trash. Yeah, I said trash. All y'all. Show our business.
No doubt.
That's what's up. Appreciate it, man.
All right, so listen, man. Classic Konversations with Jae Tea and Lo, and listen, man, I'm gonna ask you a
And I'm
really,
that
really
nigga
important
outside.
question. I need you to sit back for a second. All right, listen here, bro. I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan,
Oh,
and we need some girth in the middle. Are you open for a telephone call?
Man, to be honest with you, I have been trying to get to Brooklyn since I played with the
Yo, who you want me to call? I'm from Flatbush.
Let the man finish
Why not
talking.
call right now?
Let him finish talking, please. You ain't said nothing all night.
On
Be quiet.
everything I love, when I played
I'm
with
making a phone
Orlando,
call.
and I asked to be traded, people was like, why you want to get traded? I just said, you know what? I've been in Orlando for 8 years. I just want to change the scenery. I felt like I wasn't growing. I felt like I had reached my cap for some reason. And I was around a lot of people, not putting them down now or anything, but just like yes men. And everybody was just telling me, yeah, do this, do that. And I'm spending a lot of money and I'm doing things the wrong way. And I wasn't basically living the way I should have been living. So I was like, man, I need to get out of here and start fresh. And I wanted to go to Brooklyn. So the Magic sent me to LA on purpose. 'Cause I wanted to go to Brooklyn.
That's the best place to
make
be,
a couple
brother.
calls.
Brooklyn 3 times. I tried to go to Brooklyn after the Magic, after Charlotte, when I got traded there and they waived me and they told me that they wasn't trying to win. So I'm like, dang, I want to win. Like, let me play there. They didn't let it happen. This year they said they needed a big man that could shoot. And I'm like, y'all already had a big man that could shoot. Y'all ain't win. Let somebody come be the enforcer on the team, bro. Like, that's what y'all missing. But you know what? I'm going to stay ready. I work out every day. I train my ass off. And whenever they give me the call, I'll be ready to go.
And that's
I'ma
one.
make some
That,
phone
look,
calls
and that's
when I'm
one
the
thing
mayor
I'll
of
say.
Brooklyn.
I'll say about you because I met you when you was with the Hawks, and they had like this fan thing, and me and you were talking, and you, bro, you was so real. Talking about the coach. I'm sitting there looking at his. I'm like, damn, he's really telling me this shit. I mean, he was like, man, fucking coach, man, he whack, man. I'm trying to go out there and foul somebody. He talking about, no, don't do that. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, yo, this dude is real as hell, bro. Hey, I promise you, I could not believe
I'm
you were
about to
telling me
make
this
a
stuff.
phone
so,
call.
yeah, we need you up there. You see, we need a little girth in the middle, dog.
Nah,
Claxton
I'm
is all right, but
like
I need some
Claxton, but
shoulders.
When you play against those teams that got centers and you know that like Joel Embiid and stuff like that, you're gonna need some size.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel like Brooklyn need a championship, man. Let me come on.
Oh,
Yo,
bro, we
listen,
sure
come
do.
on home, baby.
You sure do.
I'm
I don't.
outside. They keep me in the corner because
I
I'm
don't-
from Brooklyn.
I don't bought 6
I
hats.
always had connection. I tried to go to the Hawks multiple times. I played for the Hawks.
played for the
man,
Hawks.
and they kept me on the bench.
Yeah, he did.
They kept me on the bench. They're not gonna play me.
Yeah.
They're not gonna play me.
They
They
don't
already
respect
established. I'm not gonna say nothing about nobody. I'm not sure.
Now respect
But
your
if I was
gangster.
able to play, I would definitely go to Brooklyn. I think it'd be a perfect team for me to go to. I think they need
Keep your phone on,
some,
bro.
Keep them phones up.
I think they need some. Not saying they not
Brooklyn,
physical.
tell
or
them
anything,
they come
but
to
they need,
Nets.
like,
No, that's
need some physicality.
Yeah, you said it right.
Like some
I'll say it. I'll
You're
say
saying
it.
they're not physical.
I'll say it for you. Yeah, they need some physicality
And I
in the
just
middle.
think people
And
be like, "Oh, Dwight on some different type time," but man, what I went through, bro, I know what it take, bro.
I promise you, I just had this
I know what it
conversation.
take, and
I just had this conversation about you Sunday.
Oh,
We was
wow.
talking about it, and I was like, man, Dwight, bro, he would be perfect for us right now. Just had this conversation on Sunday.
Come on to my Nets.
And here you
Dwight.
are, right here.
Hey,
Watch
let me ask you
gonna
a question, man, because we had a topic earlier, and like I said, Vince, he did 2 tours, and in the conversation about how does a black man find a safe space. So how does Dwight Howard, how do you find your safe space?
Man, I just be myself every day. No
I mean, do you have a
matter
group of people that you can talk
anywhere.
to, or
I talk to God, and all right, so my mom lost 7 kids. I was supposed to be number 8. I wasn't supposed to be here. When I was born, I was probably the size of that Aquafina bottle, 2 months premature. My grandma said everybody was afraid to hold me. They didn't want to hold me, touch me, because they was afraid that I was going to die. And I ended up being this big person. But my whole life, I'm always been thankful because I'm alive. You know what I'm saying? I got a reason to be alive and happy. So, you know, I don't let nothing bother me. Every day of my life, I'm in peace, you know, because I could have been dead. I could have been one of those 7 brothers and sisters that I lost. So people like, why you smile so much? Or you smile while you playing? Hell yeah, I'm a smile, man.
You know what?
I could have been dead for 1. And 2, like, this is my dream. Why can't I do my dream without having a good time doing it? That don't mean I take what I do serious.
That's a fact.
You can look at my body, you can look at how long I've been playing, you can look at what I've done and say, oh, you take it serious, but I'm going to have some fun while I do it because I only got 1 time around this earth, and I'd have got 7 brothers that already passed away, so I'm going to make them proud. So
I'm glad you said that because I have a couple of people say that, man, how do you trust a dude that smile all the time? Now I can tell them why you smile all the time.
Man, listen,
There it
man,
is.
There
it is.
Why you can't trust somebody that
I don't understand
That's
either.
messed up. Well, you want to trust somebody that always look mad? What? No, somebody that smile and show you that they got the love of God inside of them. They happy. They showing everybody who they are through their actions. So if somebody's smiling and they're happy, you're like, man, I want to be around that person because they positive. You don't want to be around nobody negative all the time, bringing your energy down. So energy.
I think
stuff,
sometimes they saying is, you know, sometimes they can sense a false smile. You know what I mean?
false smile?
Yeah, like some
But you can
people.
see that by looking at
Right,
their eyes.
that's what he's saying. I think that's what he's saying. Yeah, like you look genuinely just a happy motherfucker. So you like, yo, you just like, yo, we outside. I'm outside. That's why they got me in the corner. I'm outside. That's why I'm in the corner. They got me outside. I'm in the corner. See, look on the video. I'm outside. I'm in the corner. I'm not even.
Boy,
Yeah, they don't even let me
I
in
wish
no more.
we had you up here for about an hour. Boy, we can have some great
I
conversations.
love talking.
We used to have some great conversations, man. We need to set that up because
What's the top 5? What's the top 5?
Because I could. Oh man.
Angelo, what's your top 5? Get him in.
Top 5.
oh man,
Angelo got his top 5. You here?
Yeah, at the end of the show, we
But
always do a
asked-
top 5
He said
of
something
something.
about, you asked him about a safe space, and before
my
the
safe
thing.
space.
Yeah, but no, before that, you was talking about how after the thing, you came back, you went and got counseling, right?
Yeah, I went and got a little counseling, but what I realized is that everything was really me. I
That's a
needed to
fact.
get alone and figure myself out, you know, make myself happy. And it was a whole process. So what I did, I started doing this thing where I would just go in the mirror every day and just say, I love you, Dwight.
Oh.
And I would do that every day, like every day of my life. Just, I love you so much. And when I first did, I'd be crying because my body like, what you doing? Like, the more I did, it was like, man, I'm so proud. I love you, man. Hell yeah. So when I go somewhere, I'm like, man, I love you, Dwight. And I'm gonna let everybody know how much I love, but not in a cocky way or the mean way, but you supposed to love yourself.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Start with self.
That's why they got me in the corner.
Yourself is like the universe start. You attracted more things because you walking with love and you walking
you know, and happiness. So that's how I try to do.
Y'all love me.
I love me.
I bet on me all day, Sugar Sean. We outside.
Oh,
I'm in the corner.
yeah. Cut his mic off for a second.
That's why you're in the corner.
Always in the corner. I'm in timeout. It's
He's
all
been
right.
talking all night. Now you can't stop.
Nah, D, why
No,
you?
but
We here. I gotta talk to him. I got problems with my daughter basketball. We gonna talk. Me and you gotta talk. You all that. Me and you gotta talk before you leave.
Are we out of time?
Go
Is
ahead,
that what's
what you
going
got?
on? No, I mean, because to piggyback off of the 2 shows you guys just did, and this man said he went to counseling. Like, we need someone of his stature to like let these people know, like, it's safe to go to counseling. Like, like it's okay to get help. It's okay to seek psychological. Like, it's a lot of people in our community who are scared.
Being taught like we don't need no help.
Right.
We don't need to talk to nobody.
So what helped you get to the point where you was like, I need help, and you sought help and you got
I
help?
wasn't afraid. Like you gotta be humble. You gotta be able to say, you know what? I might need some help, and I'm humble enough to look in the mirror and say, I'm gonna go get some help or change my ways. And it just start with humility. If you don't have humility, you'll never do it. Your ego's always gonna get in the way of yourself. You know, so you get humble, and that's when you know you can say, I can go get help. And it's okay. It's okay to talk to people. It's okay to say that you hurt me. Like a lot of times as black men, sometimes we be afraid to express our emotions. Yeah. And sometimes we don't know how to express our emotions without violence or without hurting someone, instead of just articulating it with words. And so, you know, I just try to instill that with my kids, is teach them how to sit down and talk. If you got a problem, don't just go crazy. Just express it in words so we can understand, get it to understanding.
Thank you for that.
That's wonderful. Outstanding, man.
Yeah, I will say it's been I would say over the last 2 to 3 years, it's been expressed more, especially within the professional sports. It's been expressed more about getting counseling than it ever has within the last 2 to 3 years. It's especially after y'all was in that bubble.
COVID had a part of it.
After that bubble,
really did a great job.
The bubble did help.
I think it was good. It was like after that I came back and I said everybody need 90 days alone. Because you get to see in the 90 days who your friends are, your real friends, your family. Right. You get to come up with plans and ideas because you alone, you really taking time to, I would say, I call it atonement. Becoming one with yourself, at one with yourself. That's how I look at it. So I try to atone with myself and realize it's a lot of things that I need to get together on my own to stay in alignment with the Most High. And a lot of times you can't do that when you have so many people around you. You got to get by yourself. So I felt that it was good for me to be there alone because I came out a champion. You know, so.
Even better, huh?
Even better. He got a ring. He got a ring. Bling blow.
Me and him was talking earlier. I was telling him that, you know, you need at least, now 90 days, I can dig it, but each day you need at least an hour to yourself. An hour to yourself. And you too, because you keep going. You be going all the time. You need an hour to yourself to where there's something has your mind to where you are not thinking about anything else except whatever it is that you're paying attention to. That will clear your mind so that whatever else is going on, once you look at it again, you look at it with a clearer eye. 90 days, I don't know if I can afford to have 90 days by myself yet.
You can't afford not to. Y'all, you can't afford not to.
21 days.
And before you go, man, I want you to do your top 5 real quick.
Yeah, at the end of our show, we do a top 5 something. We're going to give it to you right now.
So, it's going to be easy with tonight. Top 5 comedy TV shows of all time.
Like Martin and stuff?
Yeah. Top 5 comedy TV shows of all time.
Okay, Martin, Fresh Prince, 227, if you can say that was.
Yeah. You on point.
Amen.
Show your age.
Then the last time I got to add Jamie Foxx too.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what's up. Well, he got to go, man. So can we get a quick picture with you, man? With the
Yeah,
group?
man, I want to come back, man.
Hey, listen, we get your information, man.
You ain't
got a
said
lot
it.
more questions. Man. We love to have you.
You ain't said nothing.
I'm talking about nothing.
Oh, my sleep? Yeah.
Oh, man, real. Come on, that's some nice shit.
Act like you love each other.
All right, now real quick, y'all get out the way so you can take a picture with the show guys. All you guests move. Being real about this one. Right, sure. You need one just classic.
Come in the middle real quick. We'll get more time. Our show called Classic.
I just want to advertise.
Make a fucker feel some kind of way.
Wait.
Now one with just the show real quick. Yeah.
All right, y'all. I got an hour drive.
Man.
Hey, somebody get that man information so we can make sure we get him down here.
I had you on the ropes. I was about to take you out, but they just kept on. I was getting ready. Yeah, I was gonna go for the jugular vein if you wouldn't came in. I had you. First time you slipped up this time. I was waiting. I was gonna take you out.
Y'all see what I'm saying? Anything might happen at Classic Konversations.
I know, right? Hey, this was classic.
Any shit ain't lying.
Anything might happen.
This will be one of the. You got to post a lot of shit from this one. This was a good one.
It's recorded though, so we better clip it. All this stuff.
I said he is.
Boy, when he stood, I was like, yeah.
You know who was bigger than him though? Was a 7-footer? Kevin Willis. That dude used to do curls with like 125.
Yeah, I believe that.
That was massive.
Kevin Willis was a big man.
Kevin Willis' arms was.
That's what I'm saying. He used to do curls at 125.
Yeah, his arms.
All right, top five comedy shows, TV comedy shows of all time. The top 5 TV comedy shows of all time.
All right, I'll go first. I like to get mine out the way because I always screw them up. In Living Color.
They gotta be black. What's just
No, you can be whatever you
Comedy.
want. I'd say Martin. I like Saturday Night Live. As much as I talk about it, Good Times. And
Wait.
I like it. The shit was funny.
We definitely got to make sure that was clipped.
The shit was funny. Now the shit's funny, but I just didn't. When you get older,
man, dogs
and
out
look
my
at what-
show every other
Nah, when you get older and you learn more,
See how
you look at it
that's
different.
segregated to
Yeah, exactly. And I think last would be Archie Bunker.
You remember y'all was having a conversation earlier about Good Times? That's one of his top 5 comedy shows.
No way. I'm saying it doesn't make. There's a lot of good things.
Me too.
No, you gonna get your top 5? Hold on.
Get Oh, that's crazy.
I'll go.
You ready? Go for it.
All in the Family. Jeffersons.
Absolutely.
Sanford and Son.
Okay.
Martin. And hell. Jamie Foxx show.
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Chrissy. She said how white I am.
No, we wouldn't think that. Oh wow!
Actually, that's a pretty
You're
dope
white.
show, though. It was funny after that.
In Living Color.
Good one.
Hey, different strokes.
Oh, good one.
You don't even know the name of you about to lie.
I was gonna say Facts of Life, but then I also was living single, and Tootie was in both of them. So.
How about that?
Living single.
She said Tootie wasn't both of them.
Right.
Vay, you got 5 ready?
3 of them I never saw though.
Come on over. Now come on,
Go
on
get
the
the microphone.
side.
Grab the mic, bro.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 227.
Okay.
I heard before. The Jeffersons in Living Color for sure.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3.
That's 3.
There's 3. Did I say Martin?
Not yet.
Okay, Martin for sure.
Okay.
What's the last one?
Ooh, I just thought of one.
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong now. Can't go wrong now.
Y'all got something over there?
Dwayne, what you got?
I'm gonna go ahead and start it off with the greatest. It's Martin, of course. Everybody, you can watch it anytime. It's still funny. Same thing with Jamie Foxx. You can watch it anytime. Still funny. Especially when he used to when he used to do that to Braxton, boy, that shit used to be so funny. For like 3 years, I used to do that to everybody when I was a kid. But you know, number 3 is gonna be Dave Chappelle, The Chappelle Show. You know what I'm saying? Number 4.
It's a comedy.
I'm gonna go with. All right. I know this is gonna ruffle a lot of feathers, but
Don't say the Golden Girls.
huh?
I said, don't say the Golden Girls.
Nah. I was gonna say Amen. I love that show, man.
Amen, good show.
Yeah, that was a good show.
I used to do that. Me and my mom would say, "Why you up there dancing?" I used to love when Sherman Hensley come in there dancing on the beginning of the show. I don't know why I love that show, man. You know what I'm saying? And then last but not least, the greatest comedy of all time, The Boondocks. Okay.
Hilarious. I love the
All right.
Boondocks.
I can watch the Boondocks anytime. I got 2 sets of the series on DVD, and I ain't never giving it up. And that's a fact, Jack. And I got it downloaded on my computer. And I got it downloaded on my computer.
You missed out on. You missed out some comedy, man.
Oh, man.
Never seen the
Boondocks is hilarious.
I just thought of one just now.
Hey, hilarious.
Hey, the story of Gangstalicious by itself is
Yeah, you ain't lying. The story, yeah.
Uncle Ruckus.
Uncle Ruckus.
So if you like Charleston White, you like Uncle Ruckus. So,
Oh, boy.
listen,
It is
they're the same
hard
person.
to name just 5.
Sweet guy, what you got?
Mine are a little unorthodox. I have Flintstones.
Okay.
Hey.
I have Animaniacs. All in the Family.
Oh, that was
Martin,
good.
of course, and it was another one. It's not a sitcom, but let's just go with the Truman Show. It's a show.
Okay.
It's a show that never ends.
She got Terry.
All right. I'm gonna have to go to the other side on this one. The Office.
Office is
Okay.
Hilarious.
Oh my God.
Hilarious.
Like tears.
I first started watching The Office out on a plane.
That's what
That's the first time I ever saw it, and I laughed so hard on that plane, man. I thought I was crazy. I started watching ever since then.
Which one were you watching? This one, or you want to watching the one overseas? Because you know there's 2.
Oh no, this one.
So the one that's over here, that's the one with Michael, but the one that's overseas, it started overseas.
Is that right?
It did.
Okay.
It did.
Okay.
So we got The Office, In Living Color, of course, Different World, Dave Chappelle, and did I say Martin already?
Yeah.
Okay, so The Office, Dave Chappelle Show, Different World, Martin, and In Living Color.
Okay.
Those
Okay.
are mine. Yeah.
Okay. Can't go wrong with those.
That's hard. Pick 5.
That's why it's called Top 5.
Wow.
The talent. Yeah.
Okay, I got 5, but there's only one number 1. The rest of them
What's up,
are
fanboy?
like number 2s.
Okay.
Martin, In Living Color,
I'll be right back.
Jamie Foxx Show, I can't leave them out.
Give me number 2. What's the other number 2?
I can't leave them out. Got to put in Good Times, man.
Why is that a problem?
Because I had something else that I wanted to put in there. I had a couple more, and I know that you're going to go with Good Times, but number 1, without a doubt, Sanford and Son.
Sanford and Son.
Because I'm going to tell you, man, well, I'm going to tell you something. When Red Fox, let me tell you something. When Red Fox passed away, it was like a family member of, I was sad for 3 days.
Elizabeth coming to join you.
That one hurt. That one hurt me. That one hurt me deep. That one hurt me deep. But honorable mention, man. I'm gonna throw in something that I think people forgot about. PJs. PJ, yeah, the PJs. The PJs. Yeah, with Little Big and Small.
Sugar Sean, top 5 comedy shows, TV shows.
We outside. Top 5, Martin, that's number 1. Number 2, Stanford and Son, that's number 2. Number 3, 227. Number 3, yeah, Stanford and Son, that's a show. And hold on, yeah. Number 3, Good Times, right? That's another one of my hot joints that I love. And then number 4 is a show that was crazy. Urkel, Steve Urkel. I'm out of here.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
4 or 5?
That's 4. Got one more.
I said 5, but I'll give you another one. I give you another one. You want
said
another one?
You said number
we
4.
outside. You want one of the top comedy shows? The other one is The News in New York City on Fox 5. That's the top comedy show you can ever watch. It's going to Fox 5 News in New York City. You gonna be laughing. You be like, wow, he did that?
Yeah. That's like reading the New York newspaper online. You want to be entertained? Man, especially go to that crime section. Oh, man, you reading this stuff like, did they really print this? Because it happened? Yeah, that's some good stuff.
All right, so my aunt got Cosby Show.
Yeah.
227. Oh, wow. Green Acres.
I love that show.
Green Acres is the place to be.
Farm living is the life for me. Land spreading out so far and wide.
You know all of that. I was like, shit, I'm done right there.
Then she got Fresh Prince and Blackish.
Wow.
Yeah, Blackish is good. Blackish is good.
She got honorable mention of Sanford and Son and the Jeffersons.
Bro, I still have not watched the last 2 episodes of Blackish because I do not want to let it in.
I'm gonna tell you something.
I still have it on my DVR.
I watched them, but I won't re-erase it. It's on my DVR. I won't re-erase it.
I have not watched it yet. I just will.
The last episodes of Blackish.
The last 2 episodes of Blackish.
Yeah, I wouldn't erase them.
I just don't want to actually know that it's at the end. I don't know. It must be something, a blocker or something that I have.
My mom got Archie Bunker, Sanford and Son, Jeffersons, 227, Cosby Show, and Living Color. Her honorable mentions are Jamie Foxx, Martin, Living Single, and Amen. There you go. You ran off our 8, 9. All right, so I have, want to go unorthodox, Friends.
Hey.
I love Friends, man. I started watching that years ago, man.
Obsessed. Yeah.
Black people did it first, though. You know that, right?
They did. Living Single.
Living Single was the first one.
But Friends is hilarious. I mean, every episode was just hilarious. I got Friends. Laverne and Shirley.
I fell in love with Jennifer Aniston.
Happy Days. Happy Days. Yeah, man. So I got Friends, I got Sanford and Son. I got the Jeffersons. I got Cosby Show. And I guess everybody knows what number 1 is. Good time.
We having tonight is a good time.
Absolutely.
Look, damn.
Always numero uno.
Temporary layoffs.
Good time. That's a show I can watch every day. I don't care how many times I've seen
I got all that shit on DVD.
I do. I got the entire series on DVD. But if it comes on, I will stop.
Saturday at 12
and start
o'clock.
watching Good Times.
Be the one that put me on that. Saturday at 12 o'clock in
Locked
the
in.
afternoon. It's locked in.
Locked
bro.
in.
That's crazy.
Like I had never seen it
Tell
before.
him. 16 shows on Saturday
And
from
I watch
12 to
every,
8.
hey, and I'd be mad if I gotta go somewhere. and I gotta leave at the commercial because I can't. If I start a show, I gotta watch it.
And they had the first episode on the other day.
Yeah, I saw it.
Season 1, episode 1 of Good Time.
Oh wow.
First ever show.
Yep.
It's like the only show where that set kind of
That's the one they were
stays.
getting. That's when they were getting put out the apartment.
And it's
And
crazy
they came
how
right behind that with Black Jesus.
there's
I was watching it. I know.
it's crazy how that set stayed the same the whole time throughout. Like the Cosby Show, their set changed. Sanford and Son, their set changed. Also, their house was a little different. They all changed, but Good Times stayed the same. Them projects did not change.
Green shit. You know they wasn't.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, Vay, tell us again, man, about the business.
Okay.
How's that brochure? Brochure.
All right, the name of the
Slide
business
the
is
brochure.
A Change is Gonna Come. It's a DUI school, defensive drive, and anger management. And I want to say this. I'm going to give you the IG, which is My Change is Gonna Come, and the Facebook is ACGC LLC. But what I want to say is this. I facilitate the classes, man, with passion. And one of the things is I don't talk at a person. I don't talk to them. We just kind of, it's a conversation. Nobody's judging you, and it's a place where people feel at home and comfortable. And this is not just words. These are just not my words. You can look on the Google link, the Google reviews, and see the 74 people that decided to put comments and just tell you how well we treat people. Because although I'm the person that owns a company, I haven't always been who I am now. You know, there is times when people, that's family. You know, we talked about family earlier. Like, man, I'd be ashamed to tell somebody I'm related to you because I was living so reckless. You know what I'm saying? I started out, man, being a person who I lived like life didn't matter. You know, and so people are able to understand and connect with me by my story. And so I tell them enough so that they can understand that I'm not judging you, I got you, I just want to see you change and be better. And so a change is gonna come is what you're looking at. A change is here, a change is me. All right? And you can reach us at 770-846-1983, 706-938-0706. And the website is mychangegonacom.1 at wixsite.com/ACGC. But you call one of those numbers, we respond to you as soon as we can, and we give you the best service that we possibly can for a small business.
Outstanding, bro.
Yes, sir.
Outstanding. And the book?
Oh, yeah. The book should be out. We're shooting for December, but we're going to say the first of the year just to make sure we're safe. And I do speaking engagements as well. So the goal is to get out and just try to change the world because I sat back and I waited for someone else to do it, and it's never going to come. So I decided to be the change that I wanted to see, and we're going to try to save one person at a time. But one thing as an educator, I used to hate to hear people say, if I can just change one person, I did my job. No, I strive for changing everybody. And if I miss one, then it wasn't by lack of effort. But my goal is to save everybody.
That's awesome, bro.
Lofty.
Good
Awesome,
stuff.
bro.
That's good stuff.
Richard Gaynell, where you at next? What you got going?
Oh, right. Lately, I've been working on some film projects and skits and TV stuff. Been, down in Napa Valley and
Down in D.C. Curry.
Yeah, and I've got some other short film we filmed recently and a skit we filmed yesterday. So hopefully you guys are going to see more of me on other screens. But you can always catch me on stage here at Uptown. And you can find me on social media, Christy Gaynell, Christy, like Christ Y, Gaynell, Gaynell, on all social media platforms.
Awesome. Brother Vic?
Man, I'm just retired. I'm living my best life. And I feel like I've already paid my dues, but I still pay it forward by mentoring, like we mentioned during the podcast. And I just love giving back, That's what it is. I'm blessed by the best. That's it.
What's your IG? Give me your IG.
Oh, my IG is Vic_Todd. It's my IG. I'm on Facebook, but I'm full of Facebook.
Good deal. Sweet guys, you got anything you want to promote?
I will on the next show.
On the next show. There it is. And Terry, what's the website again? For any filming needs or whatever?
Official, G as in George, N as in Nancy, J as in Jane, media. What is it on Instagram? Official G and J Media. That's it. Yeah, social media, management, videography, photography, anything graphics, anything media. We got you.
He told you
all the promo.
He told you it was too long. He told you that name was too long.
The official. There it is. Y'all see all the promo videos, the pictures, all that stuff, man. That's the official G&J Media handling all that stuff. He outside, Brooklyn.
You ready? I was waiting. Y'all was waiting on my hoverboard. Yo, we outside. Yo, listen. Every Tuesday night, we here at the Uptown Comedy Corner. 6:30 to 8:30, $5 menu, $5 Tuesdays, $5 to get a drink, $5 to get in. You'll make sure y'all pull up in the building. And then on November 17th, I'm in Alpharetta. We got a show out there at the coffee shop, Ground and Pound. But you already know, we outside. So we here at the Uptown Comedy Corner each and every Tuesday. Pull up on us.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Hey, listen, it's voting time. If you haven't voted, man, take advantage of the early registration. I did mine on the second day. It was open, in and out. But you got to vote, folks. You got to vote. We know this election is very, very important to not just Georgia, but to the country. We already spoke on this Herschel Walker guy. I don't think much more needs to be said.
Guy.
Glad when it's.
Running for state superintendent, man. Please vote for her.
Hey, oh, really? What's her name?
Alicia Thomas Searcy. Alicia Thomas Searcy, state superintendent. Please vote for her. Please, please, please. One of the things that she's always saying is we have a telegram education with the TikTok generation, meaning that things have changed. We have evolved. And so we're expecting a miracle by, doing the same thing over and over again, and we know what that means. Insanity.
Absolutely.
So we need a change, and the change will be her. All right, Alicia Thomas Searcy.
Outstanding, outstanding. Hey, we talked about Kanye real briefly, man, but I saw a meme today that struck home. It said something to the effect of, when Kanye said black people, could be volunteered basically to be slaves, he wasn't canceled. We didn't rally. We didn't rally behind that.
That's right.
All right. But now he say something about Jewish folks.
He right.
And all of a sudden,
it's canceled.
Everybody's coming at him.
He right.
I'm not a.
Losing money, 1.7 billion.
He right.
Well,
Everybody canceled.
He's losing money.
Adidas dropped him.
However, Adidas dropped him, but
They got to pay him.
they're paying him $246 million,
Because they own. Yep.
and he will own Yeezys.
Yep.
So, I don't know.
I mean, he's not going to be broke. So everybody that's out there saying,
nah, he worth $11 billion. So at the end of the day,
everybody
with
that's out there
Kanye,
saying that, y'all need to stop that.
nah, Kanye gonna be all right,
Stop
but
saying
Kanye is making a point, and he's showing you that we so quick to cancel our own for what? That's what I gotta say.
Well,
I ain't getting
the
into
point
it.
I'm making is we didn't cancel our own when he said something about slavery. They didn't drop him because he said George Floyd died because he was high on drugs. They dropped him based on his comments of the Jewish people.
And
Well, he said that.
What did he say about the Jewish people?
He ain't say nothing anti-Semitic.
Exactly. That's
None of
my
he
point.
said was anti-Semitic.
All he said is we are the original Israelites.
And we all know that from Ethiopia.
Exactly, but they don't want
12
that
tribes of
message
Judah.
out. That's why they canceled him. That's why I wanted to acknowledge, like, it's not that he said something against the Jewish people. He just acknowledged that we were the original Israelites.
But you remember in that
And for
interview when he
got
said
canceled.
that, though, Chrissy, when he said that, he said, y'all probably never going to hear from me again.
But that's the same reason Nick
'Cause he
Cannon
knew what
got
was gonna
canceled.
go on.
That's the exact same thing Nick Cannon said that got him canceled when they was about to cancel Wildin' Out. He said we were the original Israelites,
right?
And they canceled him. They canceled his show. They canceled all.
When
the
does
stuff
it
he had
stop?
My point is, it didn't happen based on the negativity he said against his own. It only happened when he said something against the other side. That's the point I'm making. Is nobody raised the flag, you know, when he talked about, you know, slavery was a choice. We didn't raise the flag then. Nothing was canceled. Didn't lose a dime. He gained more money. But he says,
money when he had that White Lives Matter shirt and shit.
Yeah.
He made a lot of money.
I'm just saying,
but you gotta look at
in
the front
terms
of the
of
White
the
Lives
cancellation
Matter.
part.
I ain't gonna get into this.
Yeah. Anyway.
So more next week on.
Yeah. Just that point. Teasy, what you got, brother?
I ain't got much, man. I am getting back on stage hosting this weekend at the I Am Black Awards. Tickets are on Eventbrite if you want to come through and check out some people getting awards, and if you just want to see me up there hosting, doing what I do. Saturday night, October 29th. I know it's a Halloween night, so I am on. I'm the pre-show host. I am on at 7 o'clock.
You said what night?
Saturdays, October 29th.
Don't worry about Sunshine.
Yeah, that's
you're gonna be right here uptown.
Yeah, that's a Saturday night is a rough one. I totally dig it. I can totally dig it if you can't make it. But if you want to come out, come on out.
Right, channel.
I told them I will let people know so they can buy some tickets. They're all on Eventbrite. All you got to do is look for I Am Black Awards on Eventbrite, and you'll see the tickets if you want to get one.
Comedian Duchess chimed in real quick. She gave me 3 of her top 5. She only got the Parkers, What's Happening, and 3 Stooges.
Oh, Three
Three
Stooges.
Stooges. Oh,
Damn. She went back.
She went way back.
I mean, not back as far as Green Acres, but she
man, the Three Stooges.
That was dope.
In black and white.
How about that?
What color?
Didn't he realize you didn't have a color TV yet?
she might as well have said The Little Rascals.
Wow.
That's a good one, though.
It's a great one. But yeah, man, that's it for me right now. Like I said, I'm chilling right now. Probably gonna get really back in. I got some things brewing. I don't want to talk about it too soon. I got a couple of things coming up, and I'll be letting y'all know about that soon. Hopefully next week, man, we can get this update done. We'll be back on Facebook Live. We'll also be right here, on urbanatlanta.com. While you're there, please go in and check some other stuff out that you might like. Come back, check some things out. We got plenty of podcasts going on throughout the week, even Sunday nights, right?
Yeah.
Right. Sunday afternoon, too, I think.
You do the high school roundup show.
Yep. Oh, yeah, and I like that show. I actually looked at it a couple times. It's pretty cool. So, yeah, man, that's going to do it. Y'all make sure y'all keep voting for us, man. I am ATL's hottest. We are up there for the podcast.
I read that. My bad.
What's
we skipped Ask a Cop, man.
We skipped Ask a Cop. We sure did. Go ahead, Ask a Cop, man. What you got going
I didn't have nothing to say, but I will say this to the guests. It was heartfelt. We can tell you're both passionate about what you said, and it made the show. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like I was saying, ATL's hottest was DJ Ant Love, right? DJ Ant Love is nominated Uptown Comedy Corner is nominated. Classic Konversations with Jae Tea and Lo is also nominated. Me and my wife are nominated for ATL's Hottest Power Couple. I am nominated for ATL's Hottest Model, ATL's Hottest Gentleman, ATL's Hottest Actor. There's another one.
It's hot.
Oh, ATL's Hottest Host. Yeah. So if you get a chance, man, go to atlshottest.com and get those votes in. And that's going to do it. We'll see y'all guys next week. Classic Konversations with Jae Tea and Lo.
And that's a
Thank
And
y'all
we
for
out.
inviting.
You
Appreciate
dig?
it, brother.
Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. It's classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo.